football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life. UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. Crustacean Nation, tonight's the night. History could be made right here at Akins Ford Arena as we attempt to break the world record for the largest gathering of people dressed as lobsters. But while the fans bring the claws, the Athens Rock Lobsters are looking to bring the hammer down on the Monroe Moccasins for the third straight night and the 12th straight game this season. Good evening from the tank, Akins Ford Arena, where the Rock Lobsters and Moccasins square off once again in a rivalry that has been anything but close this season. I'm Mattine Rad, bringing you all the action on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Whether you're tuning in on YouTube, 98.7 FM, or AM 1340 WGAU, we're glad to have you along for the ride. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, like the stream, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment of Rock Lobsters hockey. Right now, all you're missing is Claudius making his way out onto the ice to big applause, and a lot of people dressed in lobster costumes tonight. We'll get back to that in a second. Last night, Athens put on a show, dominating Monroe 7-2. Garrett Milan and Kason Gallant got things started early, while Carter Shinkarik and Philip Fergili padded that first period lead. Zach Papapetros not only picked up his first Athens point, but also scored his first professional goal. Avery Smith, playing in just his fifth game as a Rock Lobster, made a huge impact with 2 goals, earning first star honors. A couple of things to pick out of the Continental Division standings. Athens back on top for the first time for a while, but also the catch-up in games played is well and truly over. After tonight, it'll be Carolina who'll be behind, but have 2 games at hand. Meanwhile, Monroe is reeling, having given up 22 goals over the last 4 games, but they still have veteran Yanni Liriakos, who found the net last night and will look to help his team play spoiler in a big way. The Greek on the Moccasin side is Monroe's representative and tonight's Fan Saves Impact players of the game. 2 players who made headlines last night and can do it again tonight. Liriakos registered his 142nd FPHL goal in last night's contest, and he's definitely added flair, know-how, a veteran leadership to this Monroe team. As for Athens, it's Avery Smith who exploded for 2 goals last night. He's adjusted quickly to his new team and looks poised for another big night as Athens looks to make history in the stands and potentially on the scoreboard as well. Interesting with Smith being the first star on the night last night. All 3 stars, Avery Smith, Andrew Stafura, and Zach Papapetros. The Fan Saves Impact Player segment is brought to you by Fan Saves. Download the Fan Saves app now and follow the Athens Rock Lobsters for exclusive digital coupons. Now, let's take a look at tonight's Akins starters. Let's take a look at tonight's Akins Ford Engine starters. In goal, getting the start tonight, Josh Rosenzweig. He was crucial in the shootout win on Tuesday night. On defense, the pairing of Carter Shinkarik and Adam Oja. Up front, it's Garrett Milan, Daniil Glukarov, 2 familiar faces, but making the start between them will be Avery Smith. That trifecta is leading the attack for head coach Steve Martinson. The team physician provided by Piedmont Athens Regional is Dr. Alec Graff. The Akins Ford engine starters are brought to you by Akins Ford. If you're making a deal on a new Ford truck, why not deal with Georgia's biggest and best Ford dealership? That wraps up our Piedmont Athens Regional pregame show. Piedmont, real change lives here. So, will the Rock Lobsters claw their way to a 12-0 record against the Snakes that'll stand final on the season, or will Monroe crash the record-setting party? Puck Drop is next. Stay with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Fire it up, Randy! By being prepared for anything! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve pro. Like it never even happened.
Is this thing on? Perfect.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
We're right back in action here at Akins Ford Arena, getting ready for puck drop on a special night. The Athens Rock Lobster organization trying to set a record for the largest gathering of people in lobster costumes tonight, and once again, Crustacean Nation has come up big. Let's pause briefly for station identification. WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. Avery Smith getting his first start between these two, Garrett Milan and Daniil Glukarioff. Carter Shinkarik, the captain, also getting the start as well, and he's earned a familiar face next to him in Adam Oja, who has really sewn things up, the big man defenseman who has done well since coming into the team. And of course, getting the start once again tonight is Josh Rosenzweig. 45 saves on 48 shots, 65 minutes of hockey Tuesday versus Monroe. He ended up stopping 3 consecutive shots in the shootout. That helped secure the spoils, the majority of those, 2 points compared to Monroe's 1 in that contest. Now here comes the kids' captains out onto the ice. This is pretty tall kids' captains, I tell you what. The Rock Lobsters need some extra bodies on the ice. They might call up these kids' captains, I tell you what. National anthem being sung tonight by the South Jackson Elementary Chorus. Let's give it up for South Jackson Elementary.
Being performed this evening by the South Jackson Elementary Chorus.
Another beautiful, another cute rendition of our nation's anthem. For those of you who are tuning in on YouTube and the radio waves alike, here is the story. The Rock Lobsters currently 11-0 against their division rivals. So you might ask, is it really a rival? But, of course, the physicality between these two teams is what has created that rivalry. As we see the ceremonial puck drop here. Father-son duo of Rock Lobsters superfans. Here is the son part of that duo, Mason Moore. Surrounded by the two captains, Frank Schumacher for the Monroe Moccasins and Carter Shinkarik for the Athens Rock Lobsters. And we are ready to get going here at Akins Ford Arena. The Moccasins trying to scrape and scratch for any points that they can get, as they are currently outside the playoff picture and have a lot of work to do to get back in it and try and get either over the Baton Rouge Zydeco or the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Right now the Rock Lobsters in first place in the Continental Division, but still a lot can change in the games that remain this season. It was win number 38 of the year last night for Athens, going along with 7 regulation losses and 3 losses in overtime. Don't get us wrong, there's been some tight contests between these two teams. And it's the Moccasins who've won the draw here. They took the lead in game number 1 on the shorthand through Houston Wilson, but the Rock Lobsters got off to a 4-0 start last night. Adam Oja with a flip up the left side. Daniil Glukarov trying to drag it through Bacon, not going to be able to do so. Awkward bounce off the boards from Oja, picked back up by Wilson. He gets taken to the glass by Oja. Shinkarik out of the far corner, intercepted by Anderson. Milan there to cut out any funny business. Backhand flip up towards Smith, tries to take it with him, unable to do so. Schumacher sticks it back into the near corner, taken away by Henry, who goes around the net of Rosenzweig, finds Wilson into the left circle. Wilson centering pass, cut out. Falls out of the offensive zone for the Moccasins. They'll try to send it back in through Favreau, who gets hit in behind from Smith for his efforts. Rosenzweig out of his crease, into the trapezoid to play it, rides the boards to right out in front of his bench, out of the zone for the Moccasins, stopped by Asp. Ty Ben asking, am I dressed like a lobster? And I feel bad for not having the time to try and find a good costume. It's tough in my size as we see the Moccasins ice the puck with 1:08 gone in this one. I've seen Niven, and I think I would have noticed if she was in a lobster costume. After the icing, the Rock Lobsters will have the offensive zone face-off. Malik Johnson back in play, Philip Virgili and Gallant on this line. Did not see Orca Weisblatt. Haven't seen him yet, so I'm wondering if the Rock Lobsters are trying to rest some crucial players, having brought in these youngsters. Of course, Andrew Stafura coming to mind as one of those youngsters, starting his first game as a Rock Lobster yesterday and logging 3 points. Koch from the right circle in his defensive end. Asp takes a touch of the blade of Kason Gallant, and then he's able to send Philip Virgili the other way. He's dispossessed by another Swede, Hugo Koch. Pass came short of Liriakos. Brandon Picard takes it, but Malik Johnson was in the zone, and that'll be in offside against him. Apparently people still having some audio issues with the broadcast. Still don't think I'm hearing anything on my end, folks. If you could just keep refreshing. Sorry that that's happening to you, and I'm not sure what's causing it on our end, but hopefully you're able to continue to listen here into the show. Looks like it's Scott Koash who's back in for the Moccasins. He has a good foray towards Rosenzweig's net, but the Rock Lobsters playing good defense, and they're transitioning it into offense. Picard trying to ease it into the stick of Avery Smith, who's now getting thrupled up here. Puck loose out in front. Shot came in from Alden. Smith was on the doormat. Hal Gustafson in the far corner. Floats it towards the center of the ice. Pass Koash towards Papa Petros, who scored his first goal as a professional yesterday. Alden stomps on the brakes, U-turns, loses the puck. Ooh, a broken stick there. Schumacher into Wilson. And I believe that'll be the first shot on goal. Houston Wilson, pad save from Rosenzweig. Centering feed, Wilson to Anderson. Puck in behind the Rock Lobster cage. Backhanded back to the blue line. Favreau sends a shot in. Took a piece of the traffic out in front. Favreau again, reloading. Finding a new defensive partner who's just come into the game. Rasmus Asp, another save there from Rosenzweig, and he'll get the glove on it and stop time with 16:48 to go in the first. Another broken stick, and Junk South can take care of your broken sticks out on your lawn. Call 855-RIP-JUNK today. We were on the search for our first shots on goal, but the Moccasins have the first 3 of the game here. Let's see if the Rock Lobsters can start to match them in that category. Shinkarik right in toward Kuhn. Sometimes the best pass is a shot. Perhaps that was Captain Fantastic's philosophy there as Milan was hard in on Sean Kuhn's net. Sean Kuhn is the option once again for Gary Gill after the start from Cody Karpinski last night. Karpinski made only 16 saves on 21 shots before getting the hook. Sean Kuhn came in and made 17 saves on 19 shots. Oja on Wilson on the left side. Was a good feed in towards Stefanini. Shinkarik loses his sight on it, then pokes it away. Still some offensive pressure from the Moccasins in the Rock Lobster zone. Wilson, he's been a thorn in the side of the Rock Lobsters, but then the takeaway from Stafora towards Milan. Kuhn into the trapezoid to take it. Stafora with a centering pass deflected by the pad of Kuhn. Shinkarik meanders to the line, finds his fellow BC teammate Kyle Powell. Milan unable to settle that puck, and it's taken away by the Moccasins. Only for so long. Shinkarik sends it a long ways away, and that'll be icing against the Rock Lobsters. A little more than 4 minutes gone in this one. And the Rock Lobsters are now within one shot on goal. Now in favor of the Moccasins 3-2. The Moccasins having lost 4 games in a row now. Their last win came March 8th in Danville against Dashers HC. They won that contest 9-0. However, since then they've conceded 22 goals in their last 4 games. Couple changes here from the Rock Lobsters before this face-off. It's right out to the left of Rosenzweig. The 2 veterans, Liriakos against Milan. Milan wins the face-off. Taken away from Glukaryov, who finds Stafora. Stafora back to Glukaryov. First game for the Rock Lobsters last night from Stafora. Proved himself as a playmaker, logging 3 assists on the night. He was also one of the 3 stars on the night. Powell. In behind, to the right for Kolatarsi. Looking for the banker towards Malik Johnson. Took a tip in, so no icing. Prevost in for his first action as a Moccasin. Takes a hit from Malik Johnson. So welcome to the midweek, Coy. Long-range effort from Koash. Rosenzweig wants to keep things going, won't freeze it. Malik Johnson has a puck spilling off him from the left side. Opening for a shot for Dustin Jasso. He's scored this week against the Rock Lobsters. Tight angle shot. Rosenzweig bats it out of midair, falls out in front of him. Schumacher stops it at the blue part of the ice. Back into the trap. Corey Cunningham trying to get it out in front. It's on the roof of the net. Rosenzweig doesn't know where it is, and we've got a whistle. And a little bit of pushing and shoving out in front. Believe it was Powell who got shoved by Corey Cunningham. Looks like nothing's going to happen just yet, but we know how these 2 teams operate, so stay tuned, and there might be a little action on that ice. We got more of the Rock Lobsters versus the Moccasins coming up after this commercial break.
Since we opened in 1968, we've taken pride in our professional staff. Unparalleled customer service is our legacy. Experience the best, skilled hands and friendly faces. At Stanfield Air Systems, satisfaction is not just a guarantee, it's our tradition. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always. Rock Lobsters have a face-off in their own end to deal with. Giuseau lining up against Philip Virgili. Giuseau, 118 goals, 127 assists, 245 points in his FPHL career. Logged his 60th point of the season yesterday with an assist. Virgili bats it to the near boards. Garcia gets taken to those boards. Taken away by Virgili, finds Johnson on the left, has Virgili to his right. Virgili has Gallant on his right. Gallant with a centering pass. Good effort to get it to the Swede, who's just able to flip it into the midsection of Kuhn. That's the best this offense has looked thus far in this game. We saw Michael Greco in the warm-up for the Rock Lobsters in this one. We pondered if he was going to see some playing time, but we have yet to see him on the ice. Great news, nevertheless, as it means the return of Greco is imminent. Another broken stick. Johnson throws the shaft of the remnants to the ice. Icing waved off. Rosenzweig wondering why it was. Cunningham out to the right, poked away by Johnson, who has a new twig. Virgili tries to loft it, going backhand to the forehand, cut out by the Moccasins, met by Schumacher on the other side. Koash lets it run. Gallant, the Red Deer rocket on the breakaway. Pad save with the right from Kuhn. Malik Johnson tries to recycle it towards the end boards. Giuseau takes it away from Virgili. Stopped at the line, but Kolatarsi is unable to bat it out of midair, sent into the Rock Lobster zone, and this time it'll be icing against Monroe. Another broken stick brought to you by Junk South. Call 855-RIP-JUNK to take care of your junk today. Avery Smith still at the center of a line, but now in between Picard and Russell. Behind him, Kolatarsi and Powell. Giuseau wins the draw. It's off the end boards behind Kuhn. Koch from the right side tries to float it over the head of Kolatarsi and does. It would have been an icing if Giuseau didn't beat Kolatarsi there. Good work with the stick defensively for Smith. Plenty of time and space with the puck for Powell, but then it's given away. Anderson for Wilson out in front. Stuffed back in by Anderson, and the Moccasins have taken their second 1-0 lead of the week. The Moccasins just able to create some chaos out in front of Rosenzweig's net. Anderson back to Wilson, had the initial shot, rebound stuffed back in by Anderson. Right back into play. That one skips past Rosenzweig to the right out of the draw. Picard with a little bit of speed over the line. We call him the ice pick. He always looks for that wicked wrister back out in front. Beautiful feed from Smith. But Picard unable to get as much mustard on the backhand as he would on the forehand. The goal from Anderson, the lone assist from Wilson. And through 7, the Moccasins have a lead. Smith feeds Russell. Comes into the zone on the right side. Finds Oja. Left circle off the bar. Kuhn's going to have to kiss the post as the Rock Lobsters were just a margin away from tying this game up with an instant response. Rosenzweig beckons like he's going to play that puck out of his crease. Lets it run for Shinkarik. Oja getting knotted up in the corner. Oja in behind a Moccasin. It comes free for Stafora. Stafora backhands it out of the zone, sent back in by Prevost. Around Rosenzweig. On the right side is Koch. Bounces off of Milan. Milan takes it away. Recentered by the Moccasins. Henry had power but lacked direction. U-turn from Glukaryov. Beautiful pass to Milan. The puck reemerges on the stick of Milan, who jumps over Henry and avoids the check from Hal Gustafson. Floated back to the line by Stafora. Interesting, with Weisblatt out tonight, we're seeing some options tried out by head coach Steve Martinson. Giveaway in a dangerous area from the Rock Lobsters, but Papa Petros redeems himself for the mistake. And then he takes it into the offensive zone. That one pops up. Looked like it was going over the glass, but curves back in. Garcia has one bank right back to the Moccasins. Jussot works his way to the slot. Garcia takes it away. Jussot ties up Garcia, and he's the beneficiary of that tie-up. Frank Schumacher lets it run. Not a smart move when Kaysen Gallant is hot on your tail. Gallant takes it away. Oh, what a save by Kuhn. That is just heroic stuff from the Moccasin goaltender as he stops a break from Kaysen Gallant. We'll see if we have another look at that one, because I thought potentially that the breakaway was caused by the Moccasin pass coming off a linesman and right back toward Gallant. Not going to be able to take a look here, but Gallant sticks it back in the corner. Virgili and Johnson in behind Stefanini. Sean Kuhn has really flashed the leather, particularly away to Akins Ford Arena here. Favreau takes some time on the puck, but bounces off the hit from Virgili. Here's Wilson on the left side, had the primary assist. And here's the man who scored it in the high slot. Shot gets blocked by Kolatarsi. Johnson with a no-look backhand flip back behind the net. Russell picks it up. Gallant looking for that run of Johnson. He's able to swat at it, but Favreau pokes it away from him. Anderson through the center of the ice. Here comes the Red Deer Rocket once again. Kaysen Gallant drops it towards Malik Johnson. Good move with the stick from Asp. In the right circle, Kuhn, pad save. Spilled out to the left. Henry takes it away. He's one of the fastest skaters we've seen here at Akins Ford Arena. Wilson with a shot off the inboards. Hard in around. Malik Johnson able to get there first ahead of Favreau. Russell from the right circle. Finds Smith. It's hard off his blade, but he's able to take it to the left side of the line and flip it in. Favreau. Loft through midair. Shinkarik had to be quick there with Liriakos as his shadow. Liriakos with a backhand feed from off the end boards trying to connect with Jussot. Not sure if it was a Rock Lobster defenseman or Rosenzweig who made the save. Pirouette shot in from Koch. Pad save from Rosenzweig. The Moccasins are buzzing. Jussot misses by a centimeter, and we've got a penalty upcoming. And it's going to go against the Rock Lobsters. It looks like it's Liriakos tied up. Is he tied up with Rosenzweig? No, pardon me, it's Corey Cunningham. The Rock Lobsters had the puck when the whistle was blown. So is it Rosenzweig who's going to have the penalty? Or did they just stop it because the Rock Lobster goaltender was tied up? Looks like it's going to be 2 for the price of 1. Shinkarik in the box for the Rock Lobsters and Corey Cunningham in for the Moccasins. When we come up after this, it looks like we've got a 4-on-4 coming. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network. Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Farm Burger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Back here at Akins Ford Arena, both Cunningham and Shinkarik will do 2 minutes for interference, so 2 minutes of 4-on-4 here. Milan around the net for Oja. Gets impeded by the Monroe goal scorer, Blake Anderson. Nice little move with a stick there. Now a wraparound from Stefanini. Back to the line for Schumacher. Schumacher with traffic out in front. Rosenzweig able to cover after it pinballed around the crease. Another reminder, March 29th next weekend, the Saturday night game between the Rock Lobsters and the Baton Rouge Zydeco is Star Wars night. Take a little peek here. Take a little peek. That's what our Star Wars score bug is going to look like. But back to the plane, because it's not Star Wars night just yet. It's like a little peek of Christmas for you. Rock Lobsters win the faceoff. Papa Petros off the end boards. Taken to the end boards hard. 2 more players knotted up. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ice, Russell enters, drops it for Glukaryov. Glukaryov into the slot, misses over the bar. Beautiful work from Danny Dangles, going from right circle to slot. His shot didn't miss by much. Asp through the center of the ice. Taken away from the Rock Lobsters. Glukaryov backhanded towards Milan. Milan seeing Papa Petros behind him, goes forehand backhand on Asp. And then Asp takes Papa Petros to the ice and then pushes him with a stick. Usual Monroe Moccasin behavior there, no surprise. Just needless and unnecessary, and honestly, it's a great microcosm that shows the example of why the Moccasins have been unable to beat the Rock Lobsters this year and why they're 0-11 against this Athens team. Needless behavior like that just puts them in a much worse situation. So now the Rock Lobsters will go on the power play. It'll be 4-on-3 for 49 seconds. And then 1:11 of 5-on-4. So the Rock Lobsters on the Paloma Park power play. Of course, now as you know, the new activation, if the Rock Lobsters score on the Paloma Park power play, they earn fans free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. Interesting little foot race there between Stefanini and Milan. Virgili, like a whirling dervish, Smith out to the left. 4 forwards here on this power play for the Rock Lobsters. Gallant, Milan, Smith, and Virgili. Milan acting as a quarterback here with Shinkarik in the box. Gallant out to Virgili. Smith out front. Saved by Kuhn. Picked back up by Gallant. 10 more seconds till Shinkarik enters the fray. Spills out from Smith all the way back to Milan. Virgili to Milan. Here comes Cunningham, and here comes Shinkarik. Here comes the slapper from Milan. Beautiful save from Kuhn. Another save by Kuhn, and he stops it and stops the clock at 7:11 to go. There has been a certain trend lately where the Rock Lobsters have come up against goaltenders who are on just a tremendous performance. Kuhn has been one of those guys lately, but the Rock Lobsters have been able to win against Kuhn in those kinds of performances. Let's see what happens now with Shinkarik joining the power play fray. 1 minute and 7 to go on the man advantage for Athens. Kaysen Gallant on that far side. Milan in the middle, Virgili on the near. Glukaryov behind the circle to the left, and here he is. Back to Captain Fantastic Carter Shinkarik at the line. Milan to the goal line. Virgili back to Milan. Right circle, centering pass. Off the blade of the stick by Gallant. Picks it back up on the near end boards. Shinkarik fakes the slapper, feeds Milan. The Rock Lobsters trying to create a window here. Virgili. Glukaryov. Over the goal line, out to the right for Milan. Little tip there from a moccasin stick. Shinkarik stops it at the line, but then gets poked away by Anderson. Rock Lobsters still have it in the offensive zone. Long-range pass, but Shinkarik able to find Milan. Gallant able to find Glukaryov, but Kuhn able to find a save once again. What a tremendous start to this game for Sean Kuhn. Believe that is save number 14 for him. Look at the speed from Carter Shinkarik. Meanders over the line. Glukaryov with a move to the left side all the way back for Shinkarik. Shinkarik flips it to Papapetros. Picard. His bread and butter's in the right circle. Spills off the glove of Kuhn. Both teams back at even strength. Papapetros to his former Castleton teammate, Picard. That one came high on the other Castleton teammate, Stafora. Played down with a glove of Glukaryov. Picard gets there ahead of Lyriakos. Glukaryov ahead of the left circle. Sends Stafora in, around for Picard. Pokes it loose out to the right side. Kolatarsi with a shot that goes wide of the left post from the right side. And that one's going to be whistled for an offside. Once again, probably the strongest aspect of this Monroe Moccasin team is their penalty kill. They rank 5th in the FPHL, having killed 82.8% of their penalties coming into the day. However, it is going to be Sean Kuhn who's been the busier goaltender thus far. He has kept this scoreline at 1-0. Rock Lobsters playing it out of their own end. Floated over the hand of Lyriakos. Banking it to himself is Alden, but Schumacher read it the whole way. Koash, in his first game against Athens this week, wrists one into the mitt of Rosensweat. Looks like we're going back to a commercial break here. About 5 minutes to go in the first period. When we come back, let's see if the Rock Lobsters can tie it up before we go back into the tunnel.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Landon 554 comes into our chat and asks, will Smith be going to playoffs with the Lobsters? My understanding of the rule after my conversation with head coach Steve Martinson is that you need 15 games as a professional this season to be eligible for playoffs. I believe either that's the rule or you have to have 15 games in the FPHL. Either way, Smith abides by both of those rules, so Smith will be eligible for the playoffs. Ooh, Milan with a hard hit, laying the body on Hal Gustafson in the end boards. Rock Lobsters looking dangerous here. Stafura feeds Glukariov. That's blocked by Hal Gustafson and gets sent a mile up into the air. Shinkarik in and around Rosenzweig. Rock Lobsters backpedaling. Long-range pass. Oja to Milan. Stafura tries to make a move at the line. Stefanini cuts it out, finds Anderson. Anderson working from the left. Loses a handle on the puck. Oja looking for a route, looking for an option. Tries to get the forwards chasing it, but Asp hard into the glass right behind the head of Gary Gill there. Now 4 minutes and 1 second left in the first period. The Rock Lobsters playing from behind once again. That is something they're familiar with against the Moccasins, going back to as quickly as Tuesday night. They were down 1-0 and then were down 3-1 before scoring goals 2 and 3 to send the game into overtime and eventually a shootout. Alden frustrated by that no call there as he gets taken down by the ice. He feels illegally. Referees don't agree. Can Alden answer, though, with his first goal as a Rock Lobster? A lot of speed, whips a shot that goes wide on Kuhn. Stopped by Wilson on the far side. He goes out on a foray in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Good poker there from Papa Petros. Rosenzweig in the trap to play it. Comes off the skate of Garcia. Here come the Rock Lobsters the other way. It's Alden once again. Beautiful pass out to Garcia, but Garcia couldn't find it with enough time. Then Picard with a shot. There was about 5 or 6 players out in front of Kuhn's net, but that traffic created the block instead of a hindrance for Kuhn. Meanwhile, on the other side, Henry almost finds the top shelf. Rock Lobsters able to get it away. There is the flash of speed from Caden Henry once again. The Rock Lobsters have become accustomed to it from the Moccasin forward. A little bit of a mistake here on the puck handle from the Moccasins. Kaysen Gallant showing off his speed once again, and he rifles the back of the net. Oh my goodness gracious, Kaysen Gallant showing why we call him the Red Deer Rocket. Oh, baby, what a goal, and it feels like we've seen that break from Kaysen Gallant so many times over this 3-game set. He's found right at the line. That's where he's most dangerous, and he sends that bottle on a ride from off the top of the net. Kaysen Gallant tying it up at 1 apiece. Kaysen Gallant with yet another goal. That is goal number 33 for him on the year. Just one behind Garrett Milan, and that ties himself with Tyson Kirkby for second in the league. Here's Gallant again. Alden and Kolatarsi with the helpers. So now Kaysen Gallant back in a tie for second in the FPHL in goals. Hal Gustafson at the line. Not enough bodies out in front to trouble Rosenzweig on that shot, though. Gallant, point number 58 on the year. 33 of them are goals. Scored in last night's game as well. Shinkarik banked around. Stafura between the legs, cut out by Anderson. Milan takes it away. Rock Lobsters get it out of their zone. Stafura shown a lot of speed since playing his first game as a Rock Lobster. Glukariov out in front. The lead was on the blade of his stick, but another save by Kuhn. Kuhn has just been a rock star in this first period. Not just the quantity of saves made, but the quality and their breathtaking appeal has been something to admire, no doubt. Shinkarik calls everyone off like a fly ball in his own zone. Stafura had one come up high on him. Centering pass attempt from Koch. was looking for Liriakos. Liriakos still got there, but sent a pass back over the head of Schumacher, and now the Moccasins have to reload out of their own half of the ice. Liriakos right on the Lobster at center sends one in, played down with the glove of Papapetros. Backhand banker off the end boards. Garcia out to the left for Picard. Picard sends Alden chasing. Almost got there ahead of both Henry and Schumacher. Couple of slick skaters, so that's saying something. Picard and Alden combined to help try and take that puck away. Poked back in neutral ice by Henry. Picard into the zone, misses one over the bar. A lot of distance for that puck to travel there, but Picard still made Kuhn somewhat uncomfortable. Rock Lobsters win it back once again in their zone, but it pinballs around a couple skates. Just so plays it off the end boards to himself, but it gets tied up with a stick that is loose out behind Kuhn's net. Long range pass, Garcia. In the Olympic event there was Scott Koash, and Garcia wins it. 25 seconds to go in the first period. Alden whistles it around. Schumacher in the near corner. Stopped at the line. Papapetros opts for the shot. Comes down off the chest of Jussot, who didn't know where it was. Shot comes in from the right side. Malik Johnson. Another save by Kuhn. That is save number 17 in the first period. How about the shots on goal in this first 20 minutes? 18 for the Rock Lobsters, 17 for the Moccasins. We've got 35 shots on net in the first 20. That's not something you see every day. Milan against Jussot. Two veterans. Gallant whiffs on the pass back to the line. Gets taken down the ice by Prevost. Not sure where the puck is. I don't think anyone else does either. Milan tries to lay the hit. That's going to cause some calamity on the far side. Milan with pushing and shoving there on Prevost. Milan not a care in the world that Prevost stands at 6'2", and that he stands at 5'8". Milan just doesn't have that in his character. He will not back down from anything. Of course, he is the FPHL leader in goals, assists, and points. But he's more than happy to fend for himself. He doesn't need his teammates taking up for him. Well, the action's done in the first period, but one thing's for sure, there is still a lot more action to come in this game. After the first 20, we've got a tied one at 1 apiece. The Monroe Moccasins took their second 1-0 lead of the midweek thanks to a goal from Anderson combined with Houston Wilson. Wilson with the initial shot. Rebound stuck back in by Anderson. Kaysen Gallant feels like the umpteenth breakaway that we've seen from him in this 3-game set, and he's able to send the water bottle for a ride from up the top of Sean Kuhn's net, and that is what has led us to our 1-1 scoreline. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, you will hear the audio of Carter Shinkarik's Lobster Tales interview, but there has been some request to see the lobster costume parade that is due here. I believe it's supposed to happen here in the first period. We'll double check that. For those of you who are just tuning in, the Rock Lobsters leading, rather in a tie here, 1-1. And here is the lobster parade. So bear with me one quick second. You're going to hear the audio from Carter Shinkarik's interview, and you will see this lobster parade happen. Just give me 1 second. Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Matt Rad, and you're watching Lobster Tales. It's the best way to learn about your favorite Athens Rock Lobster players. And lots of you have been clamoring for a talk with today's guest. I may know him as Captain Fantastic, but you might know him as Carter Shinkarik. Shanks, how you doing, my man?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great, my brother. You're always one of my absolute favorite guys to talk to. You were the first guy I ever talked to and ever interviewed after I was hired. Looking back to that time, I can't believe, how huge it's all gotten. Thinking about the arena, the play of the team, how fervent the flame of the fans is. Looking back from how you felt back then to how you feel now, are even you surprised on how everything has gone down?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always uncertainty with the first year program. What's the fan base going to be like? Is the team going to be successful? Kind of will anyone know who you are in town? But it's caught like wildfire, and it kind of started when you kind of got it for we got to play at home. I think we were on the road first, 11, 12 games, and we had that Christmas parade, and kind of our first time being in the city of Athens, and people are going crazy, when our float when we were doing the parade, and you have a bunch of people with the claws up. You guys are awesome. Can't wait to see you. All that stuff, and you kind of you felt a little special, and it's just the turnouts for the games have been great. Fan support, walking around town, people recognize us, so it's been a cool experience, and everything I think a player can ask for so far.
One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was your captaincy. I remember asking you about getting the C when it happened at the beginning of the season. Do you feel like the importance and the weight of that letter has grown since being able to play out in front of the fans in Akins Ford Arena?
Like I try not to put too much thought into it, to be honest. I know older guy, and kind of expected to be a leader on a team when you wear a letter, but at the end of the day, it's a small patch on a jersey, and we got lots of older guys with tons of great insight of the game who play the game right and conduct themselves the right way. So it's leadership by committee, and first year captain, you're just trying to set the tone, lead by example, but try not to think about too much. Just wake up every day, go to work, and try to do all the right things, and hopefully the guys see that, follow along. And like I said, lots of leaders on this team. It's been fun getting to establish our culture, and having meetings with guys and constantly kind of tweak, and hey, do we like how we're doing things this way? Do we want to change? And it's kind of the cool thing with the first year program. You're not building off culture from years before, trying to change it or fix it. It's more, you got to create it, and you create it by committee, collective effort. And that's the definition of a team, is everyone pulling on the same rope and trying to win hockey games.
There's already been a ton of fantastic memories involved with this team in its first year, and hopefully there's still plenty of more to come in this season. But you've really had a front row view of every fantastic moment the club has experienced this year. When you look back at this first season in club history, what is the first moment that comes to mind?
Probably, playing the first game at home was a special moment. Waited a little bit longer than we wanted to, but patience is a virtue, I suppose. But we did this thing after the game where we take a little victory lap when we win, and thank our fans for coming, and salute the crowd. And that first time at home, had a big crowd, swept the weekend. Fans are going crazy, and you kind of, special feeling for sure. So lots of great moments. Best moment is still yet to come at the end of the season, but so far a bunch of small victories along the way. And I think the boys are looking forward to the last 2 months of the season, and they're the most fun, most taxing, most demanding, physically, mentally, emotionally, but it's all worth it in the end. Come May, when we're racing the cup, all that hard work pays off.
One thing I've been interested about, and I've asked a ton of the guys about, is the treatment of the players from this organization. It feels like something we're seeing more and more in the news recently, how players are getting treated in the minors. Your playing has spanned across the coast, the SB, other Fed teams, even in Hungary. How does this organization weigh up in terms of facilities and treatment of players?
Well, facilities, bar none in minor pro hockey. I mean, it's pretty much an AHL rink. We get treated incredibly well here, and we're blessed and fortunate, and try not to take it for granted. You'd be on the ice, and guys will come up to you. You guys get treated well. Like, it seems like an unreal place to play, and bluntly, you gotta say, yeah, we're spoiled. Like I said, try not to take it for granted. Played in different leagues in the Fed. I don't think there's a better place to play, and I'm not just saying that. I played in different markets, and every place has pros and cons. There's not really too many cons playing here. You have good staff, good fan base, a good arena, good town, good fan support, winning team. As a player, checks off pretty much every single box that you can think of. Guys who get traded or we sign from other teams, even different leagues. It's kind of a shocking eye moment, especially with first time they see the arena going, holy smokes, this is pro hockey. And we try to create the standard. See the arena going, holy smokes, this is pro hockey. And we try to create the standard. Both on and off the ice of, East Coast Hockey League standards. So, it's the habits that we, try to enforce every single day. And, that's not just from the players, it comes from the staff. And, everyone part of the organization has done a great job getting this thing going, and it's taken off. And, you put time, effort, energy into anything, it's going to pay off. And that's kind of what you're seeing happening in Athens with hockey right now.
I want to zoom in onto your play on the ice a little bit. I don't think there's anyone that plays as a defenseman like you do in this league. And a lot of that has to do with your background, primarily as a forward. You've seen a couple games this season at forward as well. I remember those couple games in Columbus. Was that something that made you excited getting to play at center again? Or are you seeing how much you're influencing the game from the blue line right now?
Yeah, it's always nice to, I guess, kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think the first 29 years of my life, I was playing forward, and then made the transition to D. So when you got to go back, it's a blast from the past, and I like it. Win a couple face-offs, get to chirp our centers a little bit. That's how it's done, boys, sort of thing. But yeah, I think a lot of guys, you see Russ go forward, play forward in D. We had Demke, a couple guys. The guys here, whatever it takes, they play forward, they play D. I play goalie if I needed to. It's kind of, what does the team need? And the boys are more than willing to get it done and do it for the team and organization.
I was on the road trip to Blue Ridge, and it was right after the Four Nations face-off. We're still not too far removed from it. You're a proud Canadian boy from British Columbia. How heated did it get between the Canadian guys and the American guys as you guys got to watch that tournament unfold?
Yeah, it was awesome. There's a lot of chirps, a lot of side wagers, and not just with the Americans, but Phil's Swedish, so gotta get my skates untied from him a few times. So it's all in good fun, but I think people are patriotic with their country. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the U.S. I think U.S. is a great country, but proud Canadian. So when they got it done in the finals, it's definitely bragging rights, and you're walking in, your head's a little bit higher, your chest is out a little bit, and you got to kind of anytime you can kind of pick on some of the teammates and good fun, it's free game, and boys are willing to do it.
I was going to ask, did everyone just kind of gang up on Phil? He's the only Swedish guy, and there's maybe a third of the team's Americans, another third is Canadians. Did everyone just gang up on Phil and bully him?
I think people gang up on Phil quite a bit, regardless of the Four Nations. He's a easy target, but the boys love Phil. He's an awesome teammate.
And who are both from BC.
Yeah, can't have enough Western Canadian kids on the hockey team. So he's been awesome. Small sample size so far, but he's meshed in well with the boys. Played the same junior hockey team that he played with, just a few years apart. But it's always kind of nice, part of the game, which especially if you meet new people, but it's also kind of nice to have some familiarities with cities, towns, and experiences that you had back home that you can kind of swap stories with. So he's a big boy, tough guy. The conversation I was had with him, he's here for a reason. He wants to do his job. He's done everything we've asked for him so far, and it'll continue to grow with even all the other new guys. It takes a little bit to build chemistry, but that's kind of our job as players and older guys to, make them feel welcome and, kind of talks of, hey, there's been a decent amount of turnover lately. What's something we can do for team bonding? I know we're talking about going bowling and weather's getting nicer, just kind of doing something. More time you spend with the boys, the more you're going to be closer. The closer you are, the more you're going to play for each other on the ice. So, Kyle's done a great job. Charismatic, fun-loving guy to, loves life, always a smile on his face. So he's been a great addition for us.
Well, Shanks, we're introducing a new segment to our show in this episode where we reach out to Crustacean Nation and ask them for questions to ask you. We're simply calling it Question a Crustacean. Our first question comes from close friend of the show and admin of our Rock Lobster fan page, Niven McCrary. She wants to know, which teammate would you least want to be stranded with on a deserted island? I think might know your answer.
There's well, I wouldn't care about a stranded with anyone, but a few, just for the sake of friendly kind of banter and picking on someone. I'll say my boy Phil. Him and I, we get arguments all in good taste. Like we're super close, but I'm pretty sure we would be wringing each other's necks after a couple of days. And then, it like I said, all in good fun, but for the sake of, I like picking on Phil. I'll say Phil for sure.
I was going to say, you say that, but aren't you guys roommates on the road?
Yeah, roommates on the road. Sometimes not too many words spoken. A lot. Sometimes can't shut us up. So, but that's all part of the brotherhood. So, like I said, anytime I can pick on him and show him the video of me doing so, I'll definitely take that chance and opportunity.
Well, Shanks, our next question comes from Shannon Vanskike, and you've told me this story before, but she wants to know how you lost your teeth.
Yeah, it happened a couple years ago. Just kind of forechecking a D, and I think he tried to go glassing out and went my face in with the puck. So kind of knew right away that you could kind of feel they were chipped and pretty wiggly. Went to the bench, and I think there was only like 3 minutes left in the game. So let's worry about it after the game. Had some blood on the jersey. Had to go to the locker room, and then I ended up actually like pulling 2 of my teeth, and I was going to go for a third one, and kind of thought after the 2 of them were out, I'm getting a little trigger happy here. I kind of want to keep my teeth in my mouth. So I always say you got to look the part. It's pay the hockey tax every now and then. So it was cool for a couple of weeks. I had a hockey player missing some teeth. Been a couple of years. Looking forward to the day I get them permanently fixed, and but all part of the game, and should probably wear a mouth guard, learning lesson, but that's the way it goes. Like I said, you pay the hockey tax every now and then. I paid it. Hopefully no more missing teeth in the future.
Adam Waters with a technical question. He says, during a power play, how do you know when to rip a slap shot or distribute the puck? What are you seeing that influences that decision? He also adds, I love the Captain Fantastic slap shots on the Paloma Park power play. How do you answer that question, Shanks?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think it's just Milan and I, we're always working with each other on the left side of me. I know Galley's there, and Orcs has been there, a couple guys that cycle through, but Milan's kind of been on my right-hand side for a bit, and usually the guy, as a right-handed guy, is giving me the pass, so try to do a little pre-scan. Am I in a position if the puck comes to me? Do I have a lane? Sometimes I think I have a lane. Shots get blocked maybe more than I want them to. But, job at the top of the power play is just kind of distribute when it needs to be distributed. You see if there's any nut front guys creating the screen. And if you have a lane, take a shot. You can't score if you don't shoot. So, it's a little bit of guessing game and hoping, trusting your instincts. But, we kind of work on different looks and stuff like that. So you just kind of, you're constantly reading and feeding off what the other team gives to you. Someone's in the lane, try to pass it. Someone's not in your lane, take a shot.
My next question comes from Sarah Jane Bork-Young. She tells us, we always see you chatting with the refs as someone is heading to the sin bin. What's the most frequent and or ridiculous thing you say?
Probably can't say the most ridiculous or repeat some of the stuff, but no, I try to the reffing, good, bad, ugly, tough job for refs. Got to have some thick skin. You're constantly under a microscope. You're getting berated by fans, players, you name it. So, I just try to get understanding of, every ref has a kind of a line of what they allow and don't allow. So just trying to get consistency out of them and get a clear message of what's going to be called and what isn't. And when it's not consistent, kind of letting them know, hey, this one play is getting called, this other play is not. Try to attract more bees with honey than vinegar with the refs. So you want them on the team's good side. So I'm pretty calm with them. Sometimes emotions can take over, and you kind of have to tell it how as it is. But more times than not, just trying to communicate with them, and just see where their line of penalties are being called, and kind of letting them know what we're seeing from our side. And it's player safety as well. We just want our guys to be safe and not getting injured, guys taking liberties. We're big, strong, fast team, a good team. Other teams are going to have to find ways to get us off our game, and just kind of mediating conversations, really.
My own question here, do you ever get nervous to have to go and tell Marty the bad news?
No. Sometimes he probably doesn't want to hear what Russ have to say, but Marty definitely, he likes to give to the rest. He's old school. He's opinionated guy, and he's just passionate. He wants to win, right? Everyone wants to win. So, sometimes you got to be bearer of bad news and don't shoot the messenger. Just relaying what the refs say. And, sometimes he wants to hear from the horse's mouth. And, but, it's a small nothingness part of the game.
We're back here at Akins Ford Arena as we prepare for the second period in what is a 1-1 scoreline between the Rock Lobsters and the Monroe Moccasins. Let's pause briefly for station identification. WGAU and W254 CJ Athens, 98.7 FM and AM 1340 WGAU. With news around the FPHL, the Dashers Hockey Club is currently up against Venom HC 7-1. A 40-plus game losing streak, the longest in pro hockey history, potentially coming to an end tonight. Meanwhile, speaking of streaks, the Rock Lobsters are trying to get to a 12-0 streak against the Monroe Moccasins on the season. Let's see if that happens tonight. The Rock Lobsters trying to build off of that Kason Gallant breakaway goal. That was the Red Deer Rockets' 33rd of the season, and now he is tied with Tyson Kirkby for second in the league. Little cheer for Josh Rosenswag on the back bend, and we get started here in the second period as the Rock Lobsters win the faceoff through Avery Smith. Rosenswag helps it towards Russell, sends it back up the right side. Picard with a stiff arm on Stefanini. Back to Russell, lofted out. Is that one going to stay in? It's into the scorers table. And it took a deflection, so no delay of game there for Russell. There is a scoring change. Initially, it was Joe Colatarsi who was issued the secondary assist on Gallant's goal, but now it's been given to Philip Virgili. So it is Gallant from Alden and Virgili on the game-tying goal. Offensive zone face-off for the Moccasins. It'll be Jasso against Milan. Two veterans with different profiles. Milan has kind of seen it all, seen it everywhere. Jasso has been the journeyman here in the FPHL, knows this league well, and that has proven to be valuable in his short time thus far with the Moccasins. There's a little delay here in getting the play restarted. Not 100% sure why, perhaps double checking where the faceoff's going to be. So it looks like it'll be to the right of Josh Rosenswag. Face-off win from Jusso. He sweeps it back with a backhand towards Liriakos here. Is at the line. Pardon me, it will be a delay of game. The Rock Lobsters are on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Strong, skilled, strategic defense. When you think those words, you think Leslie Jones Law. The Rock Lobsters will have to share those qualities with Leslie Jones as they try to prevent the Moccasins from keeping a lead. Jusso easing it into Houston Wilson in the corner. At the line, Wilson. Great feed back to Jusso. Wipes out, but still gets the backhand in the far corner for Favreau. Prevost is here on the power play. Glukariov takes it away, pokes it away once, but not twice on Jusso. Jusso out to the right side. Beautiful toenail save from Rosenzweig, and then sent away by Milan. We'll take a second for me to change the power play clock, so my apologies for that. A minute to go here on Russell's delay of game. Papa Petros tries to get the stick in there, but Virgili does. Is there something shorthanded here for the Rock Lobsters? A 2-on-1. Alden and Virgili. Alden shifts one wide. Virgili had the shot, shoveled it wide on Kuhn's net. What a great opportunity on the shorthand for the Rock Lobsters. Alden off for the change. Johnson will take his place. Virgili off for Avery Smith. All the way around, stopped by Liriakos. Schumacher with a shot. Skips it like a stone to the right of Rosenzweig. Jusso still on the ice here. A long shift for him as he'll play the entirety of this power play. Prevost can't find a route past Papa Petros, and then Smith gets in front of a shot from Liriakos. Liriakos slams his stick down on the ice. A lot of frustration there as both teams are back at even strength. But here come the Moccasins again. They reload despite the fact that both teams are skating 5 apiece. Anderson into the chest protector of Rosenzweig. Another attempt from Koash, and Rosie will cover it up. Rock Lobsters able to keep it 1-1 on the shorthand. Changes made between the two teams. And a necessity there for the Moccasins as there was a lot of minutes played just on that power play alone. I was going to say from the man who's taken the faceoff, Jusso. Jusso been a machine for the Moccasins this week. Stafura lets that one run, but got something to it, so no icing. Oja makes a step up from the blue line into the corner. Tries to sweep it towards the slot. All the way around, Shinkarik will step up himself. Sends a shot that's off the stick of Schumacher. Almost an own goal there from the Moccasin captain. Momentum trying to be captured here from the Moccasins. Trying to get that ball rolling, but they've been trying to send pucks long all week long on the Rock Lobsters. Sometimes it's worked. Most of the time it hasn't. Shinkarik tries to dance it into the right circle. Stopped by Schumacher as the two captains come together there. Oja, feed from Stafura at the line. Great deflection from Milan out in front of Kuhn's net. Puck still with the Rock Lobsters here. Glukariov, Oja, off the blade of his stick into the far side boards. Not sure what happened there. The puck just kind of disappeared on me. But a whistle nevertheless with 16-17 to go in the middle period. Call Me Perch asking how FPHL playoff locations work. So to my knowledge, for the 4-5 play-in game, which doesn't really concern the Rock Lobsters, it'll be the higher seed, the 4 seed hosting that one game. The 1 seed will play the 4 seed, and the way that it'll work, as we see an icing committed here by the Moccasins, will be the lower seed team will have the first game in their home arena, and then the other 2 games to be played, if both are necessary in the 3-game set, will be played in the higher seeds arena. Hope that helps you out, Perch. Icing from the Moccasins, so offensive zone face-off for the Rock Lobsters. Moccasins win it and start moving the biscuit in the other direction. They're trying to retake a lead that they had here thanks to the goal from Anderson. Awkward bounce off those boards once again. Papa Petros got caught out, but Virgili was there to help clean up. Malik Johnson takes a tug on the sweater, but still has an opportunity to find Gallant. Gallant able to settle that puck. It bounces right out in front of Kuhn, and he's able to cover with the oven mitt. Shots on goal in favor of the Rock Lobsters, now 20-18. An extremely high shot on goal tally in the first period. So Perch, for the Rock Lobster series, whoever they play, it seems a certainty that they will be the higher seed in the first series. So they will travel out of town for the first game in that 3-game set and then host in the first series games 2 and 3 if necessary. Stefanini with speed, cut out by Russell. He takes a spill, but sends Smith the other way. Banked off the Moccasin bench, picked up by Picard, lofted into the Moccasin zone, picked back up by Coy Prevost. The BC native playing his first for the Moccasins this week. A lot of speed from Stefanini again on a little break. Tries to be unselfish, but makes it easier for the Rock Lobsters to defend. Good stick handling there from Stefanini. Moccasins in the far corner through Anderson, the goal scorer. Centering feed, Stefanini gets cut out by the stick of Colatarsi. Still Stefanini over to Anderson, gets stuffed out by Colatarsi again. Great defensive work here from the Rock Lobsters, number 4. Poke check from Powell, stick come in on Powell from the Blake Anderson, number 94. Powell took a blatant stick to the face, no call there from the officials. We go to a commercial break. When we come up after this, more FPHL action between the Rock Lobsters and the Monroe Moccasins.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
There's a good look at tonight's hometown hero, John Sawyer. A big round of applause from all the crustaceans that thank John for his service. Thank you, John. Back to the object at hand here. The Rock Lobsters trying to find a lead here for the first time tonight in a tied game at 1 apiece against the Moccasins. Rock Lobsters, if you are unaware, 11-0 against the Moccasins. If they are able to win tonight, they will end the season 12-0. This is the last meeting this year between these two teams. There's a slight outside chance that these two teams could meet in the playoffs, but as we mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of work to do for the Moccasins. As you can see with my uncentered graphic here, that the Moccasins are currently 14 points out of the playoff picture. Milan, very clean face-off win there on Jasso. Oja, left circle to right circle, right back to him from Shinkarik. Tipped by Glukaryov, trying to lay the big hit there was Bacon. Glukaryov bounced right off it. Glukaryov takes care of the fat in the pan, and meanwhile Stafora tries to shove it in on Kuhn. Still loose out in front. Milan takes it in around the net, takes a hit, finds Shinkarik on the right side. Pirouette from Captain Fantastic. Lets a shot loose off the end boards hard, picked up by Milan again. Tries to U-turn it, loose out in front. Moccasins able to take care of business and stomp out the Rock Lobster Fire. Just so meandering in. Shot comes from Koash on the left, blocked by Shinkarik. Centering feed through the crease. No one there to answer it for the Moccasins. Just so working from the right side off the stick. A Glukaryov spills out to the near corner and picked up by Cunningham. Cunningham in behind for Favreau, but Oja getting tied up, using that big Swedish body to try and take the puck away. Gets troubled by Koash in his attempt to do so. Koash has won it back from the Moccasins, but only temporarily. Here's Shinkarik trying to send the Rock Lobsters the other direction. He does through Glukaryov. Over the red line in front of his bench. Sean Kuhn with a quick recycle. Glukaryov takes it away in the offensive zone. Virgili with a movement in the right circle. Gets impeded there by his fellow countryman, Rasmus Asp. A poke check there from Matt Garcia, taking it away from Yanni Liriakos. And a much-needed poker there from Garcia. Whistled in by the Moccasins through Koch. Gallant. Sent back in by the Moccasins. Liriakos to Koch. Henry. Trying to keep it here in the Moccasins' good graces. A good shift here from Monroe. Liriakos whips one off the side of the net. It falls all the way back to the blue line. Bacon with a bank towards Liriakos at the inboards. In the right circle is Koch. How Gustafsson pad save, Rosenzweig. Liriakos in the trapezoid. Making an office behind Rosenzweig's net. A beautiful poke check from Malik Johnson. Almost spraying himself for a 2-on-1 the other way, but great work defensively there from the one man from Georgia out on the ice tonight, Seth Bacon. A good couple minutes there from the Moccasins. Nothing to show for it as we await the first goal of this second period still. Rosenzweig whips it into the near corner. From the trapezoid out of his crease, Smith makes a move from right towards center, now working through the left over the line. Great protection of the puck from Smith. Try to go forehand at the goal line. Brandon Picard centered it out in front, took a piece of Kuhn. Another centering effort from Picard. Malik Johnson with a shot goes wide on the netminder for the Moccasins. Fans really getting behind the Rock Lobsters here. A little 4-on-4 there. That is Wilson who wears 4 and Kolatarsi who wears 4. Kolatarsi was able to stop Wilson from making a burst in behind him, and Kolatarsi tried to rifle it back into the zone and ended up getting caught in the glove of Kuhn. Smith against Stefanini in the right circle of Rock Lobsters offensive ice. Moccasins win it, but they're playing a little bit with fire here in their own zone. Rock Lobsters win it back at the line. Kolatarsi with another shot. We've seen him score here recently, scored in that big win against the Blue Ridge Bobcats on Sunday. Anderson in around. Rosenzweig got a piece of it. A stoppage in play. I think that one's going down as an icing, and Wilson not happy with that call. I think he has every right to be unhappy with that call. Chance here to thank some of our sponsors, including Athens Area Urology. You're in good hands with Athens Area Urology. Plumber Pro, Hospitality South, Athens Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Classic City Flats, home of the Rock Lobsters, Harmon Enterprises, Roto-Rooter. Also, friends of the show, Aero Exterminators, Northeast Distributing Company, Aegis Trust Company, De Palma's Italian Cafe, Leslie Jones Law, Porterhouse Grill, Farm Burger, Fox's Pizza, and 23 Design. Just so from the left side. Finds Koash from the right, but Koash unable to settle that puck. Here comes Stafora. He's shown a lot of speed. A beautiful stick-handling move from Stafora, but a save from Kuhn. Shinkarik can't bat that out of midair. It took a piece of his stick. No icing on the Moccasins. Rosenzweig just stops the trajectory of that puck, settles it down for Adam Oja to take behind his net. Adam Oja over at the center of the blue line. Whiskles in a shot on the pad of Kuhn. Action happening so fast here at Akins Ford Arena, I think I'm starting to make up words now. Oja in around on the left side. That puck evades Stafora. Shinkarik tries to get a stick in on there on Corey Cunningham. Josh Rosenzweig wants an icing, but again, he's not going to get one. I didn't see what contact was made after the red line that would have taken an icing away, but Sometimes that's just how it goes. Half of this game has been played now. 10 minutes left in the middle period. Avery Smith in the left circle, going hard towards the net. Tries to spin in the crease, gets tied up, gets taken down right in front of Kuhn's net. And Smith can't believe it. Alden, Picard. Rock Lobsters wanted to enter the zone, but of course Smith was tied up in there. Koch. 2 Moccasins in the crease. Rosenzweig was hugging the post, and Liriakos forces Rosenzweig into the save. That is save number 22 of the night for Rosenzweig. We're going to a commercial break. 9:21 to go in the second period, awaiting this 20 minutes first goal. Stay tuned with us here and see if we find it.
Meet our professional team, where the best customer service is our promise. With over 5 decades of expertise, trust Stanfield to keep you comfortable. Schedule online at stanfieldair.com.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. Rock Lobsters felt that they deserved an icing call right before we went into the media timeout. But still a point to prove here in this second period. Rock Lobsters looking for their first lead of the night. They were able to tie it up 1 apiece thanks to Kaysen Gallant's 33rd goal of the year. He's out on the ice now with Malik Johnson and Philip Virgili. Virgili able to take Schumacher into the boards in the corner, gets wiped out in behind. Henry had some sort of impedance there on the Swede. Gallant tying up Henry. 2 youngsters coming together there, and Gallant swats it back into neutral ice. Johnson into Gallant. Gallant with another break. He makes it out of nothing. Finds Johnson too. And oh my goodness, Virgili with a beautiful feed to Johnson. But Sean Kuhn has been like a superhero for the Moccasins tonight. Stafora with a poke away from Anderson. He is the goal scorer for the Moccasins in this game. Milan right out to Russell. Russell with a rifled wrist shot. Off the stick of Asp. Back out in front. Rock Lobsters with a lot of point-blank range efforts. But here come the Moccasins with a 2-on-1. Saved by the ankle of Rosenzweig. I'm trying to tell you. Rasmus Asp in around. Asp stuffs it out in front. Anderson tilt the whirl. Rosenzweig makes yet another save. 2 busy goaltenders tonight. Russell getting knotted up by Stefanini. Wilson trying to take it away. Anderson getting out in front. Stefanini golfs it into the netting. 7:39 to go in the second. The Rock Lobsters with some beautiful opportunities. And the Moccasins as well, as we saw Rosenzweig out on the full split making the save with that good-looking ankle. But the Rock Lobsters combining Gallant, Virgili to Johnson, and somehow Kuhn made sure that the Rock Lobsters did not take their first lead of the night. Hal Gustafson tries one from long range. Jusseau was in an offside position. Rosenzweig will get the icing this time around. Potentially could be 2 consecutive periods with around 20 shots for each team. The layman might tune into this game and see a 1-1 scoreline and think, oh, this isn't a very offensive game. No, it's an extremely offensive game. Already more than 50 shots on net, and we're not even into the final 5 minutes of the second period yet. Oja able to bat it away initially, but then it's taken in. Is there not goaltender interference on that? Goal comes in from Cunningham, and it looks like they're going to count it. Moccasins hungry to try and get their first win on the season. Let's see if this is our look here. Moccasins take it the other way. Jusso with a poke in. Cunningham out in front. I thought Jusso might have gotten in on Rosenzweig there, but it looks like it's going to be a good goal. And the Rock Lobsters playing in from behind once again. Right now, this game is following the script of Tuesday night. Garcia can't settle it out. That lofted pass, but then Milan takes it from behind Rosenzweig's net. A little bit of giddy up there to Milan. A little bit of giddy up to Garrett. Milan with a beautiful move. Sean Kuhn with a beautiful save. Garrett Milan staples the gas pedal to the floorboard. And with potentially all the gas in his tank, takes it to the net. All that was missing was the tickle of the twine, and the game stays at 2-1 Moccasins. Papa Petros getting poked in on by Anderson. Still able to find Johnson on the far side. Johnson kicks it to himself and then to Garcia. Virgili gets his stick broken. Gets a new twig. Here comes Gallant. Gallant's answered once. Can he answer twice? Finds Virgili. No, it's Johnson. Just wide on Kuhn. Papa Petros makes a step past Blake Anderson. Wins the puck back. Lofts it into Johnson. Johnson with a wraparound. He is taking a penalty here. Where's that puck? Another broken stick on the ice. When you think broken stick, you think about taking care of your junk. Call Junk South today at 855 RIP Junk. 6:06 to go in the second period, and the Rock Lobsters playing from behind the second time tonight, but they have a Paloma Park power play to try and answer back once again. Could it be Kaysen Gallant to potentially take him to goal number 34 and even with Garrett Milan at the top of the FPHL standings? Of course, he's already at the top of a certain FPHL standings in power play goals with 14. For those of you who are unaware, if the Rock Lobsters score on the Paloma Park power play tonight, they earn fans free churros at Paloma Park for 24 hours through the FanSaves app. Milan back to Shinkarik. Rock Lobsters playing from behind, looking to tie things up on the power play. Kaysen Gallant, great vision to find Glukarioff on the other post, but then it's covered up by Kuhn. Just 7 seconds in to the Paloma Park power play for the Rock Lobsters. Athens looking for a game-tying goal here. DJ Webster playing a song that was reminiscent of last night's White Claw Western Wednesday win. That backhander comes up on Glukarioff and then taken away by Prevost. Prevost creating a good opportunity there out of nothing. Shinkarik starts getting that stone rolling down that hill. Gallant has a lot of freedom here on the right side. Stomps on the brakes, eases it over to Milan. Milan trying to backhand it through Wilson. Shinkarik stops it at the line, but he can't get it through Wilson, who will take it out. Wilson, he scored on the shorthand once this week. Tries so again. It's off the stick of Shinkarik and into the netting. Rock Lobsters, after a big uptick in their power play as of late, they come up against a Monroe Moccasin team who probably the best quality they possess is their penalty kill. Another update from our end on Michael Greco. Michael Greco took warm-ups tonight for the Athens Rock Lobsters. We see Anderson win the faceoff and then try to take it right towards the net. Kolatarsi getting handling business in with Anderson on him. Dumped in by the Rock Lobsters. Kolatarsi can't stop it at the line. Michael Greco, who warmed up with the team today, and a great sign of his progression. Big hit at the line. Kolatarsi getting taken down by Anderson. Wilson in the corner, and Smith is able to take down Wilson himself. Stafora out to the left. Back to Stafora from Picard. Whips a wrister from the high slot, and a blocker save from Kuhn, sent down the length of the ice. Greco is in the button-up shirt and the slacks to the left of Steve Martinson on the bench. But a lot of promise in his swift return to the team as we see Stafora prompt another save out of Kuhn. 5 seconds to go on this power play. Rosenzweig slaps the ice. Shinkarik slaps the puck with a stick. Another big save from Kuhn. We go to a commercial break. Just 1 second left on the man advantage for Athens. We go to a commercial break. Is it going to come for Athens in this second period? One thing's for sure. The third period has been the Moccasins' boogeyman this year. It's a historic season for all the hockey fans in Athens, and how can you celebrate without beer? The Athens Rock Lobster Clawshank Redemption is available exclusively at Terrapin Tap Room. Terrapin, do the right thing, always.
When you're the Athens Rock Lobster's biggest enforcer, life can get pretty messy. That's when Justin Portillo calls Crawford Laundry. Justin Portillo only trusts Crawford Laundry to get his toughest game day stains out in plenty of time for the next one.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
4:06 left in the second period, but 1 second left on the power play for the Rock Lobsters. Maybe they've drawn something up on the faceoff. It was a big opportunity for Athens to tie it right back up after the goal to make it 2-1 from the Moccasins. Moccasins scoring through Corey Cunningham. The assist came from Jusso. Shinkarik, Milan out of the faceoff. Came off the skate of Asp, who was out in front of the net. Rosenzweig wants an icing. The power play's over. Shinkarik, Milan, still the top dogs out here on the ice for the Rock Lobsters. Milan dumps and chases it himself. Look at the speed from the veteran. His pass evades Adam Oja. Shinkarik picks it back up at his own blue line. Finds Lukaryov, who comes in on the right side. Tries to just find the lead pass to Garrett Milan, but Leah led him a little too far. Oh, my goodness, what a hit there from Lukaryov. Danny dangles, but then he destroys as well. Nicholas Favreau now aware of that, and it looks like the Rock Lobsters potentially going to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Carter Shinkarik will serve 2 for delay of game. And a lot of jawing between the two teams here. I think I saw an open hand exchange between two players. I couldn't tell if it was lobster to snake or snake to lobster. Rock Lobsters back to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. They are repeat offenders tonight. Carter Shinkarik serving 2 for delay of game. Not coming at a great time here for Athens, coming towards the last few minutes of this second period. If the Snakes strike here, it could be with some venom and put them on the upward trajectory that they need to beat the Rock Lobsters for the first time this season. But every time it's looked that way for Monroe this year, the Rock Lobsters had something to say late. Linesman not a fan of how that faceoff was taken, so we'll do it again. Virgili pushes it through. Schumacher sets up the shot on the right side. Put back in by Koash. 2 saves there, one from Rosenzweig, one from Kolatarsi, who's hurting after that block shot. Koash on the left side. Anderson lets it run in the corner through the inboard. Stefanini unable to get there. Papapetros does first. 4 players getting tied up between the two. Kolatarsi rifles one off the inboards and the glass into the netting. Play stops with 2:52 in regulation left and a minute 38 on the Monroe Moccasin man advantage. Four-man penalty kill here. Looks like it's Papapetros, Virgili, Kolatarsi, and Alden for Athens. Just so, face-off win back to the line. Liriakos took his eye off the puck, but able to get it back. Pass out to the right circle, just so. Block save from Papapetros. Alden takes it away. Backhand push into the zone. Virgili shadowing Favreau there. Tries to lay the hit on Jussot. Jussot able to feint so well with his body. It's a 32-year-old forward who knows this game well, specifically this level of the game very well. Russell slaps at it, but Wilson able to get it until Glukaryov sends it out of play. Another out of contention for the Moccasins, but they reload out of their own zone. Jussot coming in on the left side. Great poker there from Oja, but it falls back down for Jussot. Milan getting out in front of him in the puck. Milan with a poke check on Favreau. Falls back out to the left for Jussot. Wilson gets out in front, but loses the handle before able to whip a shot towards Rosenzweig. Goes into the far side boards. Moccasins trying to create something late in this power play. Liriakos centering feed. That one was so close to crossing, but it didn't. The Moccasins recycle the puck and the score, being able to do so. Another 3-1 lead for Monroe in this series. Let's see if we can get a look here. Back at the line, shot came in, rather pass to the left side. Wilson with a centering effort. Great save initially from Rosenzweig and Kolatarsi, but Jussot gets found after the Moccasins found the puck quick. And it is Jussot who makes it 3-1. Power play goal comes at the right time from a Moccasin perspective. We talked about how it could send them on the upward trajectory to win their first game against the Rock Lobsters this year, and it could come in the last time that these two teams meet. Anderson takes a hit from Virgili, who uses the hips in behind. Malik Johnson with a good move in the inboard, centering pass, off-hand feed to Gallant, looking for his second of the game, not going to find it just yet. Rock Lobsters could feel a lot better about themselves if they score in the final minute of play. Tight angle effort from Virgili that rides the goal line. Papapetros stops it at the line, but then swatted in behind him by Wilson. Garcia picks it up from his own blue part of the ice. Tries to split the ice and does. Johnson to the right for Virgili. Virgili can't get past Hal Gustafson. Schumacher on the far side corner in his own zone. Rock Lobsters will make a couple changes. Schumacher sees some open ice to take that biscuit into. Rosenzweig stops it in the trapezoid. Back around the glass. Tafura has it run over both shoulders and then still finds a perfect pass to Gallant. Gallant drops it for Milan, but Koash read that feed to Milan well and made sure that it didn't result in any danger for the Moccasins. Sent high into the sky by Monroe, and that will do it for action in the second period. And what a second period it was from a Monroe perspective. One goal at the 12:47 mark from Corey Cunningham, and then another effort from Dustin Jasso on the power play. Jasso was at the heart of both of those goals as he made it 3-1, and now the Rock Lobsters have work to do in the third period. However, they've been down 3-1 in this series once before. They ended up winning it in the shootout. However, a lot less time to make up here in the final period, as the Rock Lobsters have to score at least 2 goals to extend this game into free hockey. Well, someone who must be a happy man as of late is Brandon Picard. He's a graduate of Castleton University, and as of late, he has seen more and more former teammates come in to this Rock Lobster team, even at a later stage in the season. Zach Papapetros, Dominique Rodriguez, and Andrew Stafora have all played for the team this season, and all were former teammates at Castleton University. Here is our Lobster Tales, our intermission interview with Brandon Picard.
Voice of the Rock Lobsters, Mattine Rad, here once again for another intermission interview. And I'm excited to welcome Brandon Picard for the first time to the show. Brandon, how you doing, my man?
Doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. My first question is a really easy one. I was curious, with now another Brandon and now a Brendan in the locker room, what is your nickname with the boys to differentiate all you guys, Picard, Reller, and Ronan?
Yeah, I've been picked pretty much the whole year, so it's been pretty easy with even though the first names are kind of pretty similar. It's just been picked, so it's hasn't really changed.
Well, we're going to start at the beginning and work our way to your time now with the Rock Lobsters. You grew up in the suburbs of Montreal in Saint-Bruno de Monteville. What can you tell us about growing up in your hometown?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great place to play hockey and stuff, so it was great. And obviously, it's a little colder than over here, so really happy to be around here and having the warm weather. But yeah, it was really nice growing up. I got to play a lot of hockey, and yeah, great.
Does it suffice to say that you grew up a Habs fan?
Of course, yes. Still am.
What were some of your favorites to watch, or who were some of your favorites to watch growing up?
I really liked Michael Camilleri. I kind of tried to not imitate my game towards him, but I really liked the way he played, and obviously scored a lot of goals, and scoring goals is always fun, especially as a kid. So Michael Camilleri was definitely a big part of me growing up and going to the Montreal games and stuff like that. So yeah.
I feel like for Canadians, it's just second nature to get involved with hockey as a kid. It's kind of like playing Little League Baseball here in the States. But do you remember when you first started thinking to yourself, oh, I want to be a hockey player? Like, that's what I want to do with my life.
Honestly, I think it's ever since you pretty much started playing hockey, that's all you do. You watch hockey. You want to go see the Canadians. You watch the Canadians at night with your buddies. So ever since I can even remember, that's what I wanted to do. I remember a project I did in kindergarten was what do you want to do when you grow up? I want to be a hockey player. I want to play in the NHL. You know what I mean? So yeah. That's what it was.
And it shows in your resume too. I mean, it looks like you moved to the Philadelphia area around the age of 16 as you attended the Hill School, which was a boarding school, and you played hockey there. Give us the big picture there. I mean, how did that move come about for you? Were your parents still in Montreal, and how difficult was all of that for you?
Yeah, so I moved the year prior to that. I went and played junior Flyers in Philly. I was, I think my second year midget. I didn't make any teams that were really interesting in my area. And we had family friends that had lived in the St. Bruno area. And she was now in Philadelphia. And they were they have kids the same age as us or as me. And they were like, yeah, why don't you come try out? So went over there, tried out, made the team, stayed with that family for the year. And then after that, prep school became it was kind of a new thing for me. Coming from Canada and stuff like that. But after that year, a couple prep schools came up to me, and the Hill School, that's how the Hill School came up.
You played D3 hockey with Concordia and Castleton, and then you have your first year in the pros last year. You play a total of 50 games through 4 different teams. Kind of what you said earlier with your move to Philadelphia, you had already kind of been used to this kind of lifestyle, but how much of a whirlwind year was that for you?
Yeah, it's not easy. Obviously, moving around, you feel like you're not necessarily wanted in certain teams and stuff like that. And I believed in myself, and obviously I thought I've been playing good. And there's a lot of things that involved a roster move in pros especially. And I mean, I'm used to it now. Obviously, I've moved around a lot, but you just have to do your best, and the only thing you can do is the things you can control. So off the ice, I was working out and doing all the little things to try and stick around every team as much as I could, but there's nothing you can do except for just work harder and try and get better every day.
It was crazy to me too, because you were pretty much a point per game player through those 50 games in the Fed.
Right. Yeah. In the Fed, I was pretty good, really good actually with Port Huron. I had a great time there, and then got called up, obviously. And like I said, things happen. Guys get injured, you get called up. The guys that were injured get back, and that's kind of when you're kind of last on a totem pole when you're the last one coming in. So.
There was a text you and me shared the other day. I saw that new goaltender Dominique Rodriguez's mother's last name is Picard. And I had reached out to you to see if there was any relation. You laughed and said no. You two were former teammates at Castleton University. Was that a question that you two used to get a lot? And did you play any part in Dominique coming to Athens?
We didn't really get that question a lot because he doesn't really use his second last name, if you will.
No.
I think it was a couple weeks into the school year, and I was like, "Oh, you have his second last name Picard, like your mom's?" It's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, that's crazy, right?" But yeah, nothing there. And then I forget the second part of the question. All right.
I was asking if you played any part in Dominique coming to Athens.
Yeah, I mean, I let him know that we had a goalie leaving in SB and Jack, and yeah, I just let him know, and anything. I think he called his agent and then kind of made it happen.
Wow. You joined the Athens Rock Lobsters in the second weekend of the season, and you made an instant impact. When did you first learn about the organization, and how did the stars kind of align for you to join the team?
So I got drafted in the expansion draft last year by the Rock Lobsters. So Marty talked to me early in the summer last year. So I had an idea, almost too good to be true. I was like, there's no way. Like, I've been in the Fed before, but it's everything that he's told and even more. Like, we get treated so well over here. And yeah, I mean, I wouldn't change it. Like, I want to be here. I want to win a championship. So it's a great place to be.
It feels like, I haven't really asked any of the players this before, and it really just came up. It's not even on my list. It's something that every player has mentioned to me is the difference in how the organization treats their players compared to other teams in the FPHL. What are the little differences, maybe even the big differences between Athens as a destination here in the league compared to other places?
I mean, the city itself I think is beautiful and great. Obviously, you have UGA right around the corner. So for the fan perspective, I think that helps a lot. The rink is, might be the best rink in Meyer Pro, all leagues considered. And yeah, the guys over here are great. Like, I don't think I've ever had this kind of atmosphere in the locker room. So, yeah.
In terms of your play on the ice, it feels like you're really finding that goal-scoring touch as of late, and the fans have seen you release a wicked wrister in the last 5 or 6 games. What do you think is clicking for you right now?
I think I've just been doing the same thing, really. Obviously, had a little bit of a slow start, coming in a little bit late. Kind of took a little bit to get a little bit of chemistry with everyone and get to know everyone. stuff like that. So, but I think it just keep doing the same thing and keep working on things in practice and stuff like that. It's just hard work, really.
You're getting deployed a lot right now at center. Is that taking some getting used to, or is that some of what you attribute your success to right now?
I can't say I've like played a lot of center. I enjoy playing center. I think I pride myself in winning faceoffs. Obviously, it doesn't always go your way, but I've always been pretty good at winning faceoffs, so I really enjoy that. And playing center, you get to skate a little bit more with the puck and dictate the play a little bit more. So I do really enjoy playing center.
It's been impressive to me how much you've been able to contribute with different people coming in and out of your lines. Can you talk about how difficult it is to adjust to different play styles with different line mates?
It definitely is. I mean, I think when I was playing with Phil and Kaysen, it took a couple games for us to kind of, or at least for me to kind of know what their tendencies are and stuff like that. But at this point, I mean, I've seen everyone play and I've kind of picked up on everyone's tendencies. So I think I have a pretty good understanding of what guys are going to do in certain situations. So it's been relatively easy, but obviously there's always a grace period to get to know your teammates.
Would you say there's a guy or a couple of guys that you're feeling really comfortable with on the ice right now?
Honestly, everyone. I mean, it's always fun to play with Phil. He sees the ice very well. He's a great passer. So as a shooter myself, I always love playing with Phil, and I think that's the guy I played the most with. So, yeah, and I think I played with Breller lately a little bit more. So I like how big he is. He goes to corners and wins puck battles like that. So it's always fun to have a guy like that too on your line.
I was curious if you were lobbying to play with Danny Glukaryov a little bit more, because he had that tremendous pass to you. I think it was last week from behind the net that all you had to do was touch it in the back of the net and you were going to score. And man, that was one of the highlight reels of the season thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Danny's really good with the puck and a little bit like Reller too. Like in the corners, he's a force. I mean, I think this guy's strong as hell. So it's been really fun. We played maybe a couple times 4-on-4 together and stuff like that. But the times that we've had together have been really good. And yeah, he's a great player.
It's been fun to watch Danny grow into the North American game. Well, Brandon, next up, we're going to do some rapid fire questions. Should be short, sweet, to the point. First, what's your go-to pregame meal?
I try to keep it simple. Lately, I've been doing more breakfast. I try to eat 12 o'clock-ish, have a big breakfast, eggs, potatoes, turkey. Sometimes I'll do a little protein smoothie. So yeah, that'd probably be it right now.
I feel like I already know the answer to this question for you, but I ask every player, slapper or wrister?
A wrister for sure.
Yeah, there you go. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
But how do you take
tea also, and black. I just take my coffee black, and I like a tea when I maybe an hour or two before I want to bed. Just calms me down. So yeah.
What's on your pregame playlist right now?
I'm not really a headphones guy in the locker room or anything like that, but if I had the aux in the locker room, it'd probably be a little bit of rap and EDM.
Who have you been getting the closest to? Who's your best friend on the team, did you say?
Well, Dom just got here, so it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it might be easy.
Friends, speak French and stuff like that, but Malik I've been pretty close to, so it's fun that he's back now.
Malik's a Quebec guy too, isn't he?
Yeah, correct. So we all just speak French together, so it makes it easy. But I've been pretty close to Troy. I played with him prior last year in Knoxville. So yeah, I'd probably say Troy.
So that's something that's still, I think, alien for people from the U.S. to think about. So you grew up, French was your first language, correct? That's the first language you ever knew.
That's correct, yeah.
That's crazy, man. Neighbors to the north, it still blows my mind.
Yeah.
All right. Final question for me, Brandon. What's your favorite vacation spot?
I've been to Florida so much. I love it every time. I think I got to say Florida. The golf's great. I love playing golf. I think it's got to be Florida.
We still got a long way to go until you could take a vacation, Brandon. Hopefully we get to the playoffs this year. Fans are going to be able to check out Brandon Picard this weekend in the 2-game set against Monroe. Brandon, can't wait to see you there, brother.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
We're here at Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters behind 3-1, but some very interesting play in the FPHL. The Dashers have finally broken a 40-plus game losing streak and have defeated Venom HC 7-3. The Rock Lobsters are actually the only other team that the Dashers have defeated this year. So the Venom joined some pretty good company in that regard. Still got a few minutes till the start of the third period. The Rock Lobsters have work to do. 3-1 is the scoreline in favor of the Monroe Moccasins. We'll be back with more Rock Lobster hockey here on the Rock Lobster Network after this.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon your toilet will clog again.
What if it won't flush?
We'll always repair it.
Nobody puts baby in a flooded corner.
Maybe I should still fix it.
You had me at hello. We've got same-day service.
Plumbing completes me.
Honey, the sink is overflowing.
Okay, I'll call a plumber.
Need a plumber? Need a pro? When you need a plumber, call a pro. Plumber Pro.
UGA football player Amarius Mims suffered a serious injury. The quality care from the Piedmont team changed his life.
As a football player, my body is everything to me. When I got injured, I was worried about
my future in the game, but you and your team's expertise, care, and support reassured me from the start. I've been able to recover because of the quality care I received at Piedmont, and I am back playing at my full potential on the field. I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me, my family, and my future. Your help means the world to me, and I'll always be grateful for your part in keeping my dreams alive. How you doing?
Well, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yes, sir.
I'm so proud of you. So happy for you. It gives me joy to see you out there on the field doing your thing. You look good.
Appreciate you.
It's a good-looking ankle.
I'm trying to tell you.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities, and exquisite finishes, providing residents with an unparalleled downtown living experience. Classic City Flats is excited to deliver luxury apartments that set the new standard of sophisticated living in Athens, Georgia. Classic City Flats, redefining your horizon of living. It was a good second period for the Moccasins as we see the Rock Lobsters make their way back out onto the ice, but 2 goals scored by Monroe in the middle period. However, the star of the show for them has been their goaltender from the town of Glen Falls, New York, Sean Kuhn. He's made 33 saves in this one going into the third period. Josh Rosenzweig has had a good game, but a couple of maybe somewhat questionable calls on the 2 goals scored. Both were allowed, however, that's what matters. And now we go into a potentially decisive 20 minutes here. The Rock Lobsters have been down 3-1 against the Moccasins at one point already this midweek, but they were able to come back and score 2 goals and send the game into overtime. Overtime proved fruitless for both teams. It was an exciting shootout, though, in which Josh Rosenzweig, having allowed the first 2 goals in on the first 2 shots from Monroe, stopped 3 in a row. That gave the window for Milan and Glukarioff to score in sudden death, and that's what led to the 2 points earned. For those of you unaware, an overtime win results in 2 points here in the FPHL. Meanwhile, a win in regulation earns you 3. A little bit different from NHL rules, but that is the way that the FPHL operates. The Rock Lobsters seems more likely that they can send this game into overtime rather than trying to win it in regulation, but you never know with how high octane this offense can be for the Rock Lobsters. They're going to need to have to find that gas in the tank here. Poked away from Stefanini on the left side in, rifled back in by Wilson. Colatarsi tries to poke it through into the neutral ice. Tied up there, Picard, Colatarsi, and Anderson. Russell free out in the center of the ice. That one whipped in from Hunter Alden. Takes a deflection out into the netting. Rock Lobsters trying to hold on to their perfect record against the Moccasins. I can't lie, it'd be somewhat poetic if in the last meeting between the two teams, the Moccasins are able to take a bite of the Rock Lobsters for the first time. Good shot there from Stafura right out of the faceoff. Grabbed down by Shinkarik out of midair, but that'll go down as a hand pass as Malayan took it away. And of course, that's nothing that Crustacean Nation wants to see, a loss against this Monroe Moccasin team. And to be completely frank, it's two fan bases, two teams, coaching, everyone involved. These are two squads completely that do not like each other. The Rock Lobsters would love to stay undefeated against the Moccasins. Monroe would love to have at least one on Athens. Favreau, great feed out to the left side towards Liriakos. Little U-turn from the Greek. Backhand, no looker to Asp. Shot comes in. That's a dangerous one. So loose out in front. Rosenzweig sprawls. Now it's in the far corner. Not too dissimilar from Monroe's last two goals. The Rock Lobsters need to try and find the fluidity, the flow that we've known from their offense all season long. So far it's missing in the second and third periods. Glukaryov can change it with a flick of the switch, though. Tremendous little move, but a couple dekes from Glukaryov go between a couple skates, and then Virgili took the early step, and that's an offside on the Swede. Of course, a team that will be watching this game very, very closely is the Carolina Thunderbirds as they try and find some hope that they can have a more easy route to leapfrogging the Rock Lobsters potentially this weekend. Sent in by Garcia. He almost gets sent in to the Monroe bench. Cut out here by Koash. Koash takes it in. Wicked wrister from the right circle and a save with the shoulder of Rosenzweig. Wilson, tight angle shot, spills out in front of Rosenzweig and batted away by Garcia. Garcia joining Gallant in the attack here. Gallant with the backhand just tries to push it towards Garcia, cut out by Monroe. Gallant, we know him as having Red Deer rockets in his skates, and we have seen that what feels like a ton of times, not only tonight, but this week. Picard, little pirouette out of his own end. Picard takes it in. We just heard his intermission interview. Centers it for Smith. Smith unable to get enough mustard on that shot. Bacon takes him to the boards. The Moccasins take the puck away. Alden. Backhand feed to Colatarsi. Better here from the Rock Lobsters, but nothing to show for it. Stefanini gets tied up by Picard. Colatarsi keeps it in. Only temporary, though, as Anderson hugs the boards and makes sure that Colatarsi can't force the biscuit back into the oven. Got a tie-up out in front there, and Anderson is laid prone down on the ground. Doesn't feel like the referee there is wanting to partake in his play acting there. Koch was hard towards the net of Rosenzweig. Pass out from the corner, cut out by Alden. Trying to spring Stafura the other way, unable to do so. Little kick from Henry. Liriakos to the near side. from the penalty boxes back to the right defensive circle for Monroe. Favreau, long-range pass. Liriakos one-times it into the far side corner. Stafura gets hassled, still gets the pass off to Milan. Milan, Asp, and a linesman getting tied up there. Rock Lobsters need 2 goals to knot this one up. We're a little bit more than 4 minutes into the third period. The perfect 11-0 record against Monroe this season is at stake. And a potential to let Carolina in if the Thunderbirds have a perfect weekend back into the top spot. Koash, one-time loft over the head of everybody. Moccasins unable to coordinate over the line. They go offside. They don't touch the puck. Rock Lobsters able to play out their own end from Shinkarik. Shinkarik with a wicked shot, a blocker save from Kuhn. That's save number 36. Shinkarik trying to leave it in behind for Virgili. Rosenzweig, it's not going to be an icing as it's sent right in on the Rock Lobster goaltender. And that's going to stop time with a little less than 5 minutes gone. It's going to be a fun weekend next weekend. The Rock Lobsters home account continues as they take on the Baton Rouge Zydeco for 2 games. Friday the 28th, Saturday the 28th, both of those games dropping the puck at 7:05, and then a Sunday matinee at 4:05. Virgili kind of directing traffic a little bit here like a point guard before the faceoff. Moccasins come away with it. Great block shot there from Gallant on the effort from Anderson. Prevost takes a hit from Gallant in front of the bench. Right now, Gallant has shown a great philosophy, a great mindset in this game, a great work ethic. Right now, the rest of this Rock Lobsters team needs to follow his lead. Zach Papapetros takes a spill. Hit from Virgilian on Hal Gustafson behind the net. Johnson gets hit in behind from Stefanini. Virgili taking exception to it. And we've got a penalty upcoming. Of course, you never like to see your line mate getting hassled, but oh, is this one going to turn into something further? Johnson pulling in 2 guys by their jersey, all by his lonesome, showing off the strength there. We call him Malik the Marvel. Maybe he's the Incredible Hulk. And unfortunately, though, I think this is going to end in a Philip Virgili penalty. It's something, of course, you understand after he sees a hit from a Monroe Moccasin on Malik Johnson, but now the Rock Lobsters, already behind 2 goals, will have to go behind a man as they go to the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. That's coming up after this commercial break. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you. Of course, trying to break the record tonight. We're seeing a lot of lobsters in the building, but are they going to be left disappointed? The Rock Lobsters down 3-1, and Philip Virgili in the box, putting the team on the Leslie Jones Law penalty kill. Virgili 2 for cross-checking. I'll tell you what, a shorthanded goal will be exactly what the doctor ordered. The Rock Lobsters very capable of it. Garrett Milan sends one hard toward the line, stopped by Liriakos, but spills off of the Greek and into the neutral ice. Favreau, right to left. Jusso has a stick break on him, needs a new twig. Very temporarily, the 2 teams skating evenly with the broken stick from Jusso. Liriakos tying up with Milan. Two veterans. Let's see if more comes of that at some point. Liriakos with a one-timer pad save from Rosenzweig. Favreau. Centering pass. Wilson trickles in towards Liriakos, and then a slapper from Favreau goes wide. Here's Favreau again, left side of the line. Backhand no-look feed. Wilson back to Favreau, back to Wilson. High slot shot. Takes a deflection off of a Rock Lobster lower extremity. Favreau. One-timer. Missed wide to the right from Jusso. Jusso having scored the goal to make the game 3-1 on the power play. Liriakos lets it run. Collects it back off of the corner. Stopped with a skate of Jusso. Jusso in a left circle, centering feed off the blade of the stick of Wilson. He had a potentially open net there if he was able to direct it towards Rosenzweig's net. However, the Rock Lobsters are able to send that puck away, and the Moccasins, with 16 seconds left in their power play, have to work back from their own zone. We saw Liriakos try to bother Garrett Milan, and I think this Monroe Moccasins, we'll tell you a little bit about that in a second, because Malik Johnson is looking dangerous here. Loses the puck, though, still finds a pass to Virgili. Loose out in front. Hunter Alden got a piece of that one, looking for his first goal as a Rock Lobster. Finds Kolatarsi. Out to the right is Papa Petros. Good shot, but doesn't hit the cage of Monroe. Alden looking for a deflection out in front from Virgili. Spills out to the far side boards. Papa Petros sticks it back into a dangerous area. Malik Johnson and Virgili. Great save from Kuhn. Does he have something on it? Yes, he does. And now a couple of cross checks exchanged there between Cunningham and Papa Petros. Even when you see new guys come into the professional game, that's when you realize that guys who play hockey, no matter what the level, are just bred a little different. Papa Petros, he might be new to the professional game. He doesn't back down an inch. Talking about the way that this game's being played, something that's been a weakness for Monroe this season, especially against the Rock Lobsters, is they start to lose games and they start to get frustrated and try and make it a very physical contest and take penalties when it doesn't benefit them. Right now we're seeing guys like Liriakos try to get in on Milan and bother him and try to get in his head. Right now it's a smart move from a Monroe team as they try to finish off this game having a 3-1 lead. Gallant doesn't get enough on that one to get it to Virgili. Picard out in front of the Monroe bench, goes forehand, backhand, banked off the board, sent back in, and the Monroe Moccasins have it in neutral ice, send it through the neutral ice and over it to Adam Oja. Good move from Shinkarik. Into the zone. Shinkarik centering, feed Gallant again! Now he's tied for the FPHL lead in goals with Garrett Milan, and there's still plenty of time for the Rock Lobsters to tie this one up. Look at the emotion. We talked about it earlier. Kaysen Gallant showing himself right now is honestly one of, if not at least a few Rock Lobsters that have had the right work ethic in this game. He's laid his body out on the line. He's got himself into the right position, and now he's brought the Rock Lobsters back to within one. We're going to get a quick look. Right now the puck has just been dropped, but we'll show you the replay here. Kaysen Gallant perfectly in the slot in between those two circles, and he rifles it in. That is goal number 34 on the year, tied with Garrett Milan at top the FPHL rankings. But here come the Moccasins. Stefanini in. Took a slight deflection off the glove of Rosenzweig. Now Kaysen Gallant on hat trick watch. He's already scored one against the Moccasins this year. Rosenzweig pokes it to the line, whistled in around, stopped at the trapezoid by Anderson. Two Rock Lobsters are there, though, to try and take it away from Anderson, and they do. Staforo with a one-time pass towards Glukaryov, taken away from him by Hal Gustafson. Wilson sends it in. Stopped with the stick of Rosenzweig. Stafura lets it run into the neutral zone, picked back up by the lone Georgia native on these two teams, Seth Bacon. Rosenzweig stops the trajectory in the trap, and the Rock Lobsters try to reload here. Still more than half of this third period to go. Shinkarik to Gallant. And an offside whistle comes. 10-12 to go. Kaysen Gallant. I was having a conversation with someone on the Rock Lobster staff just a few days ago talking about the goal race in the FPHL and talking about how Garrett Milan is looking like a very, very good contender to win that race. And I said, keep an eye out for Kaysen Gallant. He's getting the right numbers right now at the right time. He's staying hot, and he's been the power play goal guy for this team. When you're able to generate those kinds of numbers on the man advantage, those are often the guys that league leads in goals. And how poetic would it be if Gallant was able to tie this game up with a hat-trick goal and put himself atop the FPHL standings in goals. Kolatarsi stops that one, sends one high. Henry had to duck that one, otherwise it was coming right at his face. It's kind of a standoff here. Gallant will come in on it. If the Moccasins touch the puck here, it'll be a hand pass, so Koch was trying to invite anyone to touch it. It might have been a smart idea because there was an opportunity generated from the Moccasins based on that very move from Koch. Shot comes into the right but wide from Bacon. Tie up there between Gallant and a Moccasin. It was Liriakos. Gallant wants it. Gallant's feeling it right now. It's awkwardly off the skate of Picard. Picked back up by Cunningham, but Virgili lays a hit, frees that puck up, and Picard sends it back into the zone. We've got a whistle, trying to figure out if it's a penalty or if it's an icing. And it looks like it will be an icing. Believe we're going to a commercial break here. Rock Lobsters have one back. Can they tie this game up at 3? We'll see after this break. Kaysen Gallant is feeling himself tonight. A reminder that this broadcast of the Athens Rock Lobsters is brought to you by Piedmont Athens Regional. Real change lives here. Akins Ford is the largest Ford dealership in Georgia. If you're going to trust anyone, why not trust the biggest and the best? Stanfield Air Systems, we've spent the last 50 years fulfilling Athens' HVAC needs. First American Bank and Trust, we specialize in you. And Terrapin Beer Company, do the right thing always. We have a special little lobster family in the house tonight trying to break a world record. And Crustacean Nation, next season, maybe you can join them. Season tickets for the upcoming Rock Lobster season are officially on sale. Lock in your seat and be part of every hard-hitting, goal-scoring, crowd-roaring moment right here in the tank. Akins Ford Arena. Don't miss your chance to experience the energy, the excitement, and the best hockey in the Classic City all season long. Scan the QR code on your screen now to secure your tickets and join the Rock Lobster family today. Rock Lobsters taking it the other way. Guess who? Kaysen Gallant. Kaysen Gallant tries to put it through the skates one time from Picard as he turns around, whistled all the way out of the zone and picked back up by Avery Smith in front of the Rock Lobster bench. Gallant. Kaysen Gallant playing like a video game character right now with all the sliders down. Garcia. A little bit of speed. Puck in around. Papa Petros banks it hard towards Smith. Got tied up and knocked down. Great takeaway from Johnson. Johnson kicks it to himself, poked away by Asp, and picked back up by Jasso. Played with the skates of Papa Petros. Favreau is going to be able to get that puck out, though. Jasso Moccasins looking for the dagger here. The Rock Lobsters looking for the equalizer. Wilson off of the side netting. Athens moving from east to west. Malik Johnson troubling Hal Gustafson, but does enough, the Swede, to get it away. Rock Lobsters trying to load up from behind their own net. A chain of Let's Go Lobsters arising here in Akins Ford Arena. Papa Petros with a giveaway on Stefanini, but offside. And Wright coming over to argue that one, I believe, is Anderson. Anderson got the scoring started in this one. The combination of him and Houston Wilson made it a 1-0 game. The second 3-1 advantage for Monroe in this series. Going to get collapsed in on him once again, as the Rock Lobsters try to stay undefeated against this Monroe Moccasin team. Stafora has shown some beautiful passing over the last 2 days. Glukarioff just looking to try and cause some trouble for Kuhn. He picks it back up. Gets a poke in from Hal Gustafson. Sent out by Stefanini. Played down well by Liriakos. Backhand feed doesn't go to plan. Here come the Rock Lobsters. Milan avoids the check and keeps the puck away from Bacon, but I don't think Stafora knew that pass was coming. Liriakos centering feed. Where's that puck? Where's it at? Whistle comes in. Rosenzweig gets run over and then throws a couple of haymakers himself. Rosenzweig, no doubt, extremely frustrated in the fact that he's just gotten run over multiple times tonight. Trying to look at the numbers at the two who are tied up there, Shinkarik and Anderson, I believe it is. Let's see if we got a look at this one. Just a little bit of the aftermath there. Shinkarik and Anderson got tied up. And we'll see what's to come of this. Schumacher looks like he's going to the penalty box. Will that be the lone penalty? Anderson going in. Gets a warm welcome from Crustacean Nation into the penalty box. Big claws up from the crowd here as we try to figure out how this is going to be adjudicated. We'll find out after this commercial break. Stay tuned with us here on the Athens Rock Lobster Network.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment, ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
Classic City Flats is a brand new apartment community in Athens, Georgia that redefines luxury living, offering a sleek and contemporary living experience. Our impeccably designed apartment homes boast sophisticated interiors, premium amenities. Sorry to cut off that advertisement from our friends at Classic City Flats. Classic City Flats redefining the horizon of living. It's going to be 4-on-4 here between these two teams. Josh Rosenzweig for roughing. Stafora will serve that penalty for him. Glukarioff with a backhand sweep. Glukarioff takes it away again from Koch. Rolls over Koch like a semi. So once again, 4-on-4 hockey. Rosenzweig called for a roughing. That minor served by Andrew Stafora. Meanwhile, Blake Anderson is serving a 2-minute minor for slashing. Sent in by the Moccasins. Rosenzweig lets it run. Shinkarik picks it up on the left side. Back around. Adam Oja in the trap. Oja with Shinkarik, Glukarioff, and Milan. Head coach Steve Martinson knows that they need a goal late in on here as we approach the final 6 minutes of this game. Glukarioff. Rock Lobsters have numbers going forward. Tape to tape toward Milan. Milan steps on the brakes. Gets collapsed in by 2 Moccasins. Goes down to the ice. Glukarioff back to the line for Oja. Oja easing it towards Milan, who's out in front of Kuhn's net. Back behind the goal line. Kuhn gets the blocker over it and stops it with 5:42 to go and 54 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Rock Lobsters looking to try and tie this one up in the last 5 minutes and 42 seconds, down 3-1. But Kaysen Gallant, with his second of the night, pulls the Rock Lobsters to within 1. Kaysen Gallant now 34 goals on the year. His next goal would be a hat trick goal, would put him atop the FPHL standings in goals, and also would be his 60th point of the year. Kolatarsi doesn't get any mustard on the shot. Papa Petros at the line. Gallant tying up with Prevost in the corner. Papa Petros can't stop it on Jusso. Jusso takes it through. 3-on-1 developing for the Moccasins. Hal Gustafson in on Rosenzweig. Makes 1 save. Make it 2. That is a big-time save, rather a pair of saves from Josh Rosenzweig as he keeps the Rock Lobsters, the Crustaceans, in contention. A big thank you to all 381 of you who are tuning in tonight. If you haven't already, like the stream, subscribe so you can play a part in our chat all season long, and ring the bell to stay notified of if Kaysen Gallant scores his hat trick. Glove save, Kuhn. Another highlight reel stop by Kuhn. That could be a game-winning moment for Kuhn and the Moccasins. Will that be the moment that defines this game? Stay tuned. You got to give flowers when they're due. I know it's the rose that's in the net for the Rock Lobsters, but Sean Kuhn has had a tremendous performance tonight. That is save number 40, and it comes on the breakaway from Gallant, who, on a hat trick, puts it into the glove of Kuhn. It might not be a moment for the Rock Lobsters, but is a breathtaking moment, to say the least. Rock Lobsters playing with fire in their own zone. Shot come from Stefanini, blocked by Oja. Oja takes him into the corner. 3 Rock Lobsters there to try and win that puck back. 5 seconds to go on the 4-on-4. 3, 2, 1. And now we're back at even strength. Shinkarik has to 4 out in front of him. Shinkarik takes it into the zone. Shot comes in over the bar. Shinkarik between his legs to 4 there, and then try to sweep it in. What an effort there from Shinkarik, getting creative, but we go back to a commercial break. It's kiss cam time here at Akins Ford Arena. The Rock Lobsters hoping to kiss the back of the net one more time to tie it up at 3 apiece. Stay tuned here on the Rock Lobster Network and find out if they can do it. Farmburger is defined by its mission, its farms, its team, and its family. In 2008, our co-founders gathered around a single idea: redefine the burger by bringing together a community of ranchers, farmers, chefs, restaurateurs, and eaters. Our promise is to strive every day and with every burger to uphold these core values to each and every one of you. We do that by holding ourselves to a higher standard. Grass-fed and grass-finished, that means our cattle are never fed grain. Our belief feeds our mission, and our mission is to feed you.
Every business owner who's built a business wonders about their company's legacy. What's the path forward after they decide to take a step back? At the heart of every succession plan is a vision that safeguards hard-earned success. This isn't just paperwork. It's your roadmap, guiding a business during a change in ownership and detailing how ownership transitions and key financial decisions unfold. This instills a profound sense of pride, belonging, innovation, and commitment. ensuring a stable future for the company and a rewarding exit for you. Let's forge that path together.
The time is running out here for the Rock Lobsters to try and tie this game up. Well, the Moccasins win their first against the Crustaceans this season. Shinkarik over to Milan at the line. Spills out toward the near side for Oja, who makes a step up on Asp. Klukarioff from a tight angle, but a close range. Doesn't miss by much. Shinkarik racing to the right side of the line to keep it in. Milan can't bat it out of midair. Stafura lets it run. Picked up by Asp in the near side corner. Oja able to stop them from traveling any further. Milan getting tied up with Favreau. A game of pinball here in the Moccasin zone. We've reached the 16-minute mark of this third period, and the Moccasins are 4 minutes away from making it 1-11 against Athens this season. But they iced the puck with 3:52 to go. A reminder that we are back here at Akins Ford Arena next weekend, March 28th, the 29th, and the 30th, as the Rock Lobsters will take on yet another Louisiana program and the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Friday and Saturday, puck will drop at 7:05. Sunday, a matinee at 4:05. Secure your tickets today if you haven't already. Virgili with a face-off win. Gallant's back out on the ice. Had a breakaway opportunity that would have marked his hat trick. Virgili almost got something on it. He was out in front off of the behind-the-net feed from Malik Johnson. Papa Petros just tries to put it back into contention. Poked back in toward the corner for Kolatarsi. Virgili, no-look. Feed to Johnson. Another save by Kuhn. The Rock Lobsters have beat Kuhn tonight, but there are certain plays, certain opportunities for Athens where you ask yourself, how in the world did that one not go in the back of the net? Rock Lobsters and head coach Steve Martinson going to keep this line of Virgili, Johnson, and Gallant out on the ice. Jusso trying to sell a high stick on the faceoff, which is something I don't know if I've seen before. Malik Johnson will have to take Virgili's place. Prevost behind the Moccasin net. That one's out of play. The referee saying that was deflected into the stands. I'm not sure if there was much in that. Sometimes you can hear that kind of contact. I didn't hear anything either. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. 3:26 to go. The Rock Lobsters with a win here could put a lot of pressure on the Carolina Thunderbirds, even if they are able to get at least a point and tie this game late and get a point out of it. Kolatarsi up the right side to Gallant. Gallant needs to just get it to a teammate. Rosenzweig ensures it reaches Papa Petros. Good move out of his own defensive near side corner to find Virgili. Virgili over the right side of the line, working his way into the right circle. Shot gets deflected, tries to pick it back up. Papa Petros will be there. A collision in behind. Virgili looking for someone to feed. Virgili has two on him, trying to play keep away between Bacon and Jusso. 5 players tied up here. Gallant into the corner. Virgili with a tight angle shot that gets just a piece of the bar. That one almost hit the big screen here at Akins Ford Arena as it's lofted out of the zone by the Moccasins. Malik Johnson down to 2 knees there, and takes some time for him to get back to the bench. Two minutes and 20 seconds to go. Rock Lobsters need a goal at this point to send it into overtime. No Continental Division team has lost in overtime more than the Moccasins this season, and no Continental Division team has won more in overtime this year than the Rock Lobsters. Beautiful move around the net from Papa Petros. Tries to pop it in, then pokes it away from Favreau into the corner. Can't backhand it past the number 19 for Monroe. Henry with Alden and Smith around him. Smith takes him into the glass. Asp around the net. Russell's there on the right side to pick it back up. Papa Petros takes it away from him. Slapped at by Alden. Russell hurting, and an odd man rush for the Moccasins the other way. They're trying to bury this game, but Koch stopped out in front in a whistle as Smith was getting tied up. I believe it's Asp. Yep, Smith and Asp trying to lock horns there after Asp laid the hit on Russell. It's almost getting to that part of the game where you start asking, when does the net get emptied from a Rock Lobster perspective? Minute 37 to go in regulation. Rock Lobsters in desperate need of a goal. Otherwise, they'll let the team they potentially dread the most get one on them, and I mean one. Face-off will happen in the defensive end for the Rock Lobsters. Milan against Stefanini. Face-off won by the Moccasins. In around. Rosenzweig asking for pressure on the right side. Gallant is joining Milan and Glukarioff here. Ooh, dangerous shot that came in late on Rosenzweig from Stefanini, but he makes the save. Save number 40 on the night for Rosenzweig. Gallant able to use his body to keep it away from a Moccasin. Glukarioff thought that he beat the icing out, but he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. And it looked like Rosenzweig was out of his crease heading towards the bench, so something to keep an eye on there. Funny enough, memory will harken back to a game played in Columbus where the Rock Lobsters were down, I believe, 5-4 at the Columbus Civic Center against the River Dragons. And it was Kaysen Gallant who forced one in on a buzzer beater to send the game into overtime. The Rock Lobsters would win in the shootout. In my opinion, one of the all-time memories of the season. You might remember it as well. Rosenzweig is out of the net. Extra attacker on for the Rock Lobsters, but they have to keep very careful possession of the puck. Shinkarik kicks it over to Gallant. Virgili on the right side. Virgili trying to shovel it in between two Moccasins. Schumacher just eases it up the left boards. No icing against the Moccasins. And the icing would probably have been a welcome matter for the Rock Lobsters as Bacon attempts that one, and it's through Oja and in the back of the net. It appears as though the Moccasins will finally taste victory against the Rock Lobsters this year. A lot of shocked fans here at Akins Ford Arena. Perhaps even more shocked is the Monroe commentary team to my left, as they'll finally get to celebrate a Moccasin win against the Athens Rock Lobsters, and it comes in the last meeting between these two teams. Koch from the red line, cut out by Alden. Alden to Papapetros, tries to ease it back to a partner. Liriakos just eases it in towards Rosenzweig, who will leave it for Garcia. This game coming to its end here. Brandon Picard, another wicked wrister for him, but 0.1 seconds on the clock. And they'll just let that one run out and let this game end. Sean Kuhn sheaths the sword, and he has every right to. He is de facto the reason that the Moccasins won this game. 42 saves from Kuhn, and it's not just the quantity that's impressive. It is the quality, the highlight reel type saves that Kuhn pulled out all season long to ensure that the Moccasins would not go winless against the Rock Lobsters this year. The Moccasins with 3 points earned will go to 63 points and on their hunt toward the top 5 spots in the standings. And the Rock Lobsters will stay on 106. A little bit of a window there for the Carolina Thunderbirds to try and leapfrog the Rock Lobsters, replicating what Athens was able to do in the midweek. Interestingly enough, Carolina will have the Columbus River Dragons this weekend. The Rock Lobsters will return to play next weekend here at Akins Ford Arena. They take on the Baton Rouge Zydeco for a 3-game set and take on Baton Rouge for the final time this season. Of course, the Rock Lobsters are coming off of a 3-game sweep against Baton Rouge. Before tonight, they came into this contest having been 17-0 against Louisiana teams, did the Rock Lobsters, but now they are 17-1 as the Moccasins have dealt them the first loss against this Snake team this season. Real quick, we'll read you off the 3 stars of the night. Star number 3 is Houston Wilson, who had 2 assists. Star number 2 is Kaysen Gallant, of course, had 2 goals. Was very, very close to scoring a hat trick on yet another breakaway, but a big-time save from Sean Kuhn. That might have been the moment of the match. Star number 1 of the night, the game winner, is Dustin Gisso, and Gisso has been a welcome addition to this Moccasin team. Let me paint a little bit of a picture for you, because the Rock Lobsters came into this week knowing they had 6 games to play in 7 days. I think if you rewind and say, hey, you're going to win 5 of those 6, you would take that at the end of the day. The Rock Lobsters have put themselves in a position where Carolina has to ring a bell. They have to answer the bell. Right now, the Rock Lobsters with 106 points. They have the advantage in the standings here. As you can see right over my face, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Rock Lobsters will stay at 106, and now Carolina with 2 games to play. Potentially they could overlap the Rock Lobsters this weekend in their series against the Columbus River Dragons. But a lot to be positive about for the Rock Lobsters. A very, very busy period for them, the busiest of the season, and the Rock Lobsters were able to take 5 wins out of this 6-game week. We'll be back. We'll be back with 100% as the Rock Lobsters will return here to Akins Ford Arena, a 3-game set against the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Friday the 28th, Saturday the 29th, those 2 games dropping the puck at 7:05, and then Sunday a matinee at 4:05 p.m. Don't forget, Saturday night we've got Star Wars night. That's going to be a fun one that I cannot wait for. Well, on behalf of everyone here at Akins Ford Arena and the Rock Lobsters staff, this is Matty and Rad saying so long from Akins Ford Arena. The Moccasins were able to get one on us, unfortunately, but the Rock Lobsters still on top in the Continental. We'll see if they can keep hold of that this